Nick, get off your phone. We're recording.
Are we actually recording right now?
Yeah, we are.
I'm going to send a text. You introduce it.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Not That It Matters, the podcast where nothing matters, but everything does.
I mean, a little.
I'm your perennial host, Alex Panu, and I'm joined by a first-time guest, just random Webster student who I saw, Nick Lanham.
Throw it to me. Hi. Oh, shit. Hey. Hello, Alex.
Hello.
Really pleased to be here.
We are changed locations this week.
We have.
We are recording in Webster University,
Yes.
Speardrip
Building
Hall, 239.
Yes, the Leif J. Speardrip Business and Technology Center.
Yes, he's Norwegian.
Yes.
Is he?
Is he?
Probably.
Speardrip? Yeah.
Probably.
Sweden?
Yeah.
Speardrip?
Speardrip, Leif.
Leif.
Fuck, I already fucked it up.
Leif J. J is for, well, never mind. I don't know what that could be for.
Were you going to say Jew?
No. Jew. Yes.
There's a ton of them up in Norway.
There are.
So this is a room that we have spent literally hundreds of hours in.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, this is the room that we always used to go to when we were brainstorming script ideas or creating stories and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, we would be here until like 4 a.m. oftentimes, if not later sometimes.
Yeah. Drinking drinking every night. So
in honor of that.
2 beautiful peaking Mick Ultras being opened.
Yeah. I mean, if there's any good reason to peak.
Sorry, generic beer.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's very nice high-end craft beer.
We're not sponsored by Michelob Ultra.
Yeah, we just pour it into a McCann.
Oh, we bad.
So if you've been listening, which you should be, to the podcast, you know that last week we assigned each other our first set of homework.
Yes. It was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Had a good time.
I bet Alex's homework was much more, let's say, uplifting than mine was. He gave me stand-up comedy. I gave him a very sad album by My Chemical Romance.
One of the most depressing albums that's ever been made.
A band never known to be
Especially
sad.
for somebody with my past.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking about it afterwards. We'll get there.
I mean, it checks so many boxes.
I mean, dude,
we have death by cancer.
Yes.
We have alcoholism. We have crippling depression.
We do, yeah. We have all of
the
those things.
things.
Yeah. I literally I didn't realize how much of a Alex album it really is.
Yeah, it really hit
strangely.
It really hit me hard.
In a strange way. I bet it did. Well, let's start with my end then, because that's much happier.
Yeah,
you want to say what you gave me?
So I made Nick watch Nate Bargatze's The Tennessee Kid special, which just came out on Netflix.
That's right.
And I wanted him to describe pretty much the current state of stand-up comedy in terms of clean comedy.
Ooh, okay. So, yeah, I didn't do that bit as much. I did. I looked into it, but I
wasn't expecting you, but just like what, because clean comics, Regan, Gaffigan,
those
guys like that.
Those are like the biggest two.
The biggest two for sure.
Yeah.
And then you have a guy like Nate who is just like finally getting the recognition that he has deserved for years.
Yeah, and Seinfeld too. You always point him out. That's a good addition.
Well, Cosby before.
I know it sucks. Is like he really was like he was, but he's just a terrible person.
Yeah,
like one of the worst.
Yeah, Michael Jackson, great songs.
I know,
not a great human.
I know. It's funny because somebody brought up in one of my classes. You know that movie Yesterday that's coming out about the Beatles?
I don't.
The movie
what?
You don't know Yesterday?
No. Well, I mean, another song.
Yeah. Well, it's about this dude who's like a failed musician and he gets hit by a bus and time sort of like warps. And all of a sudden when he wakes up.
Oh, yes, I do know the song.
The Beatles never existed.
Yeah. And he knows all the songs.
So, yeah. And somebody was saying in one of my classes, what other bands are big enough that movie could work for them? And I was like, I don't think there's anybody.
Michael Jackson.
Maybe Michael Jackson. Yeah. And maybe Elvis. But the thing is do you know enough Elvis songs that would work? That are specifically Elvis.
No. I don't know. Johnny Be Good?
That's not him. Yeah. No, I can't even think. But a lot of people think, well, I was going to say
Jailhouse Rock.
Jailhouse Rock.
Blue Suede
what's the
Shoes.
One like I Can't Help Falling in Love?
I don't know. The one where he married a 14-year-old?
Fools Rush In. I'm trying to think of other ones like.
There's literally nobody. I mean, maybe
Nobody that makes sense.
Like now, you could do like Taylor Swift,
But that
Justin
doesn't make
Bieber.
sense though, because like the Beatles are an institution.
Yeah.
Like you could argue like there's nobody
The Rolling
else you could argue that haven't
Stones.
the Stones.
Yeah, the Who. Maybe.
Somebody said
Not the Who.
Metallica, but Metallica's too niche. I think.
Sabbath?
They're still huge. But see, if not Metallica, then definitely not Sabbath. Maybe like Def Leppard or somebody like that has a lot of hits that you don't really realize are theirs.
Yeah,
But still, I don't
the
think
Beach
so.
Boys. Beach Boys could work.
Beach Boys could. But I think it's the Beatles really, and the Beatles
Yeah.
alone. I don't know anybody else who really has that.
I'm just trying to think
Maybe
of
the
solo.
Eagles. The Eagles.
The Eagles. I'm trying to think of just solo artists too.
Oh, like Gaga or somebody, but it's too new.
Yeah, no, like older, like Elton John,
yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, but see, and somebody brought up Bowie, and I was like, name me one Bowie song, and each one knew like,
Oh, Queen. You could do it with Queen.
you could probably do Queen.
Yeah, you could do Queen.
which you did do, and you yeah,
It's fucking terrible.
terrible. It's just, dude, The Dirt
it's
is way better. The Dirt is a
That's
way
what I've
better
heard.
movie.
I almost watched it last night.
Yeah, and you know how much I love Nikki Sixx, so
You do. I
I
forgot about that.
love Nikki Sixx.
Yeah.
and it's also really
You're not
weird
a big Motley Crue fan, though, right?
I am a huge Crew fan.
You are?
Yeah,
I thought you just liked Nikki Sixx.
Well,
in like a weird way. I'm a big Tommy Lee fan.
Are you? Are you a Tommy Lee fan?
Dude, if I had that hog,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
dude's got a fucking baby arm.
Dude, MGK as Tommy Lee is so weirdly good. I
Is
have
it?
no idea. Like,
Yeah, he's acted a bunch of like weird shit. What was he
he?
just in?
Oh, I didn't know.
He was in Bird Box, I think.
yeah, he's in it for a little
he's in
bit.
Bird Box
All right,
for a little bit.
Pete Davidson's also in The Dirt, and he's very
Oh, he's
funny.
like their manager?
He's playing himself, basically, just clean.
Is he also fucking Kate Beckinsale?
No, but
That'll
there's
date this
a very
episode.
funny bit where one of the guys from Motley Crue fucks his girlfriend like while he's looking for his girlfriend, and they do that
okay.
same sort of like the
you
Big
could also
Short.
do that movie with Kiss too.
No, you couldn't.
Yeah, you could.
Enough Kiss songs.
Yeah,
That somebody would be like, they never existed, and you would change the world by being the one that wrote their music. Now,
dude, AC/DC
see again, but those like enough bands came out after.
and sounded like them.
yeah, maybe Zeppelin.
Maybe Zeppelin.
Probably
well,
Zeppelin.
no, because Greta Van Fleet.
They wouldn't come out. I'm sorry. I love Greta Van Fleet so much. They're great, but I don't buy that. Oh, we've never been that influenced by Zeppelin. We love them, but like
That's so stupid.
you're Zeppelin.
Yes.
You are Zeppelin.
Yeah, it's a carbon copy of Zeppelin.
Like no, I mean,
But
like, there's
young
a
kids
little
from
nuance,
Brooklyn.
but it's pretty much just Zeppelin. Yeah,
it's Zeppelin.
Yeah, it's But anyways, so
Sorry.
so I listen. No, yeah, I don't know what
completely off track.
We were talking about Nate Bargatze.
Nate Bargatze.
So you've told me about him a bunch since you and I have become friends, and he's one of those. Do you know he's like a name that you're like, I know I should probably check him out, but I've just never
I think
listened
you know
to him.
because you've heard other comics talk about how great he is.
Yeah, because I
That's
listen to
probably
enough
what it is.
podcasts, and I listen to enough other comedians just talking on different
Yeah,
things.
he's been very, very well respected in the comedy world for a while. He got started. I think Zany's in Nashville,
Okay,
and then moved to New York.
is it like their big club? Zanies?
Yeah, and then he's big fans with a lot of the up and coming New York guys, like a Dan Soder, Louis J.
pegged him as
Gomez,
New
Big
York.
J.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of really where he cut his
Well, because
teeth.
he's so southern that I was like, he could go either way, you know? Because I know Ron White said he did more L.A., and I would have thought Ron White, when he was first coming up, and I would have thought Ron White was a New York guy.
I actually don't know much about Ron White. I don't know like where he, like as a young comic, where he really
He said more
put
like
some
the
work
store,
in.
but
That makes sense because that's where he goes now. That's where he mostly works.
doesn't he seem like he'd be a New York guy? Just if you were like objectively thinking about it, I don't know why. I think it's the drinking on stage and shit in the cigars makes me think The Cellar.
Kind of, yeah. It doesn't really feel like an LA move.
No,
to,
but then
to
again-
drink whiskey on the rocks and
Yeah.
smoke cigars while you're
Yeah,
telling
because
jokes.
now that you've been like showing me more and more stuff, I can tell a difference between like store comics and cellar comics.
completely different.
It's
yeah.
yeah.
It's night and day. Well, it's not really cellar comics. It's comics that really worked a lot in New York.
Yeah.
Because there's just spots like crazy. And I haven't seen a comedy show in New York, but from what other comics have talked about, the audiences there are like much more appreciative of well-written stuff. And they don't really allow you to be like goofy.
You don't have to do like little bits, you know?
Yeah, they don't even like bits.
Right.
It's mostly like you got to be a good, strong, smart joke writer.
Yeah. And I know that in LA you have and obviously you have a ton of clubs in New York too, but more LA, if you even hear the names like Improv, Laugh Factory, Comedy Store, like they just feel more they
More
don't
commercial.
Yeah, commercial, but
Yeah.
also like more like almost like I don't want to say lighthearted, but the Comedy Cellar and shit like that, they all just have names that feel more like
The Village Underground.
Yeah,
It's the Village Underground.
Yeah,
It's
well,
the
they-
other Comedy Cellar store. Or the
Oh,
other
yeah.
Comedy Cellar venue.
and they just have that more like subversive comedy feel where you're like, you can be a bit more raw.
Yeah, for sure.
Which not that I mean, fucking Rogan and Burr are at the store all the time, but it doesn't mean that, and they're raw, but it's like.
Burr worked a lot out in New York.
That's what I was going to say. He wasn't originally an LA
They're also
guy.
both Boston guys.
Oh, yeah.
Boston,
I always forget
Boston
Rogan is
scene
too.
in the 80s was pretty nuts.
I just know that I always think Rogan in the store because it's like the first person I ever knew that was at the store, like in the 90s even.
Yeah.
Like, so that's why I always think of him that way.
It's funny that you say that because he didn't go to the store for like 15 years.
Right, but but his original stuff was then, and then he did that Mencia thing, and he also that's crazy. So back to clean comedy though, it's such a hard thing to do. You don't realize how clean comedy is until you listen to it. Like
you don't even realize Bargatze's clean.
No, you don't notice.
You don't notice that he is. Gaffigan, Regan, you kind of do.
Regan, I notice the most because he's so zany. Yeah,
and then Gaffigan, you realize it because it's still like it's a clean cut show.
Yes,
like it feels that's more like Blazer and Wrangler jeans comedy.
Yeah.
Even though it's not really, but that's like the vibe that it kind of is.
He's very like. I really love him because he's like he's like probably the first stand up I really got into was him and probably
Regan or Gaffigan.
Gaffigan and probably Birbiglia at the same time.
Okay, Birbiglia works semi-clean.
He's fairly clean.
Yeah,
but he'll curse. He's like Mulaney.
Yeah,
like they're both.
They curse, but their subject matter isn't necessarily.
Yeah, they're almost. You could almost lump them into clean, but they're just not because they're not actually clean. And there's so few. I was
Pete Holmes, you can kind of put in the clean category. He doesn't work clean.
No, but he's pretty.
He doesn't like put that constraint on himself, but he's kind of clean because he is so goofy and silly.
Well, and there's an article that I was telling Alex about where it's Jim Gaffigan talking about Nate Bargatze, talking about how this is a comic that you should know if you like me or if he mentions Brian Regan because those two are like interchangeable in terms of like who's the number one. I don't think you could say one or the other is the number one in clean comedy.
No.
But he was basically saying,
especially because they both have such big bodies of work too.
Yeah, and
all successful.
Yeah, both of them too.
And
it's cool that they're friends. I like that they're friends. Like they've hung out.
Neither of them really have a bad special. They have a couple dips, but I haven't watched Regan's new special, but apparently it's not very good.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. But Gaffigan's wasn't that his most recent one? Was
Gorilla Ape?
It was. Oh, that one was maybe the one before that. Actually, no, they're pretty good. His more like I feel like his specials have little jokes from like there's no one terrible special or anything.
Yeah,
but his have like especially after like Beyond the Pale and
we talked about it on a road trip.
Yeah,
that it's not becoming a parody of itself, but he's making they're making that special. Like he's making Jim Gaffigan knows that he's making a Jim Gaffigan special.
He does, yeah.
Which, I mean, he knows his voice.
Yeah,
but it's just not as fresh of an idea as somebody like a Bargatze who just comes out because he doesn't have like any shticks.
No, he doesn't.
Gaffigan has that shtick of the audience's voice.
Not just that, but also everything gets back to food or like I'm fat.
Yeah,
Nate Bargatze, and so this is like a good way to get into that. And Regan has that shtick of. I always can salvage a joke because I'll go zany. Like he, you know what I mean? Like he'll do like some like weird little face or like voice or something like that. Like,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean by that?
The
like
big yellow one's the sun.
Yeah. Like he doesn't. Gaffigan can tell just straight, flat, clean comedy, and Regan can too. But he does rely on that as a crutch, like being like, well, if I can, you can almost see it. Like if he feels like a joke's not landing, he'll just make it weird, and he knows that's like his crowd's into it. And Gaffigan will do the same thing. If a joke's not going to land,
I also don't know Regan as much as you do. I feel like you probably know Regan more than I do.
Yeah. And Gaffigan does that crutch too, where he'll be like, okay, the joke's not going to land. I know if I do this audience bit, they'll love it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They both have that. Whereas Nate Bargatze has no crutch. None.
It's he has the slow Southern drawl talking that makes you hang on every word.
I was telling Alex, I've taken notes, but I want to just like an overview of his comedy because I listened to from 2012. There's Yelled At by a Clown.
Yep.
Then there's Full Time Magic in 2015.
Yes.
And then 2019 it's Tennessee Kid.
Yeah.
And
what was your favorite?
Okay, I would say my favorite actually, I guess, is probably Tennessee Kid because you can tell it's the culmination of him like at his best. But I think Yelled At by a Clown, I love seeing like I'm big into music and I love following bands from like the beginning. Same with even like following minor league baseball players.
Is there a video of Yelled At by a Clown?
Did you watch I was looking for that on YouTube and I couldn't.
I don't think there is.
I found like bootleg like shitty clips, but it's like but you can tell people weren't supposed to be taking footage like on a phone or something like that.
It
at
probably
a club.
also was the Yelled at by a Clown tour, and it's not from like the actual album.
No, it's not. Yeah, that's what I mean. Because the jokes aren't the same wording.
Yeah.
Which why would they be?
Yeah.
No, I'd say I love, it's the same. You probably can tell this by now, but like, because I love following like minor league baseball players or like fledgling bands. Like I like watching people like build up to their best, you know, we'll talk about that with my chem a little later.
The idea of following a minor league baseball player does so little for me.
Yeah. And even the fact that does so little for
I
you.
like
And you don't
baseball.
But that's the same thing with Nate Bargatze. He's listening to Yelled At by a Clown, which is 7 years old. Sorry, 7 years old now.
Yeah. Dude, where the fuck has the time gone?
I know. 2012 doesn't feel like that old, like that long ago.
7 years ago.
I was about to turn 21. No, I turned 21 in 2013. But
I was 19.
Yeah, 20 for me.
Jesus Christ.
I know. And like that feels like, 2012, that's a normal year. Well, you know what's crazy is we're talking about this, but My Chemical Romance, when we talk about them, have been broken up for 7 years.
They broke up in 2012?
12 or 13. 12, I think. 13 maybe. But yeah, I mean, so we're talking about a band that feels like part of our lives.
I remember when this album came out.
Yeah.
And this album came out 13 years ago.
2006.
Yeah.
Fucking insane.
People can do math.
I'm saying like, I'm just saying like 2006, like when it comes out of our mouth, sounds like, that's not that long ago.
Oh, no, it sounds way long ago. Yeah.
I don't know. I was
2006?
Like, freshman year of high school?
I was 13.
Yeah. Freshman year of high school.
So long ago.
That's when I was a freshman in high school when the Black Parade came out.
Okay.
So it feels, you know what I mean? So high school doesn't feel, it does feel long ago and then it doesn't.
You know what's funny? I really got into like punk music like my chem. Like freshman year or 8th grade, freshman year of high school.
Yeah.
And it was because of my church group.
But that's because a lot of those people were looking for like music.
Also like angsty releases.
Yes.
Which is why you kind of glom on to church groups where you literally sit in a group of like 10 people and just talk about your problems.
Yeah. And I feel like that's probably, we'll get to it later, but I bet you that's a reason that an album like The Black Parade went under your radar because it was probably too dark. I bet because you said My Chem.
I was listening to like Silverstein and all that kind of shit.
Oh yeah, and you listened to like, didn't you say you listened to like Senses Fail?
And like Escape the Fate Bullet.
I wonder how they made it past you.
I don't know.
Yeah, because they're probably the biggest.
I think it was because of. Actually, never mind. I'll talk about it.
Yeah, I'm interested by that. But Nate Bargatze. So the thing I was going to say is he feels like you're talking to like an old friend, and he's telling you a story you really want to hear. Like you're like, what's been going on with you?
A story that's like the third time you've heard it,
or it's people that you already know. You know what I mean? You're like, how's so and so been?
You know
doing?
all the side characters.
Yeah. And so he starts telling you the story, and you're like, fuck, I remember that dude. Even though you have no idea what he's talking about.
I don't know anybody who has any sort of a life where their dad was a clown and a magician.
Yes,
but it feels like I do.
And it
feels like I have a friend that like has like a weird clown dad.
And it's so weird because you listen to like I'm trying to think of a good example. Like,
by the way, I just want to say I'm already loving this homework sector. Like,
it's really it really works. Yeah,
it's a fun time.
Yeah, it especially because you and we're also tight enough like that we want to know what the other one is like passionate about. Yeah. But no, I was gonna say
episode like 50 of this is just gonna be bottom of the fucking barrel.
Yeah, I'm like hey,
dude, research the history of flip-flops. Tell me what it is.
Flip-flops. I worked at Old Navy. You should look them up. You should go into one.
Tell me why the name is Old Navy.
Yeah, and I'll be like, I went to Columbia. They told me it's not a country. It does. Tell me why the name is Old Navy. 100%. That's a Brian Regan bit. No, I was gonna say. Oh fuck! What was I gonna say? What was I saying?
Fuck.
Damn it.
2006.
No, way past that. We're way past that. Wait, Nate Bargatze,
old friend. You know, all the side characters.
Yeah. He's like he tells you these stories where it's like do you remember that guy? And you're like, yes, I remember. Dude, what is he doing now? And you're like he tells you that story, and you're like, that I'm so happy that you told me that story. Like I've been wondering where he's been this whole time.
Yeah.
And he also does this thing where like he sort of just like he says it in such like a slow pacing that you're never like you're just kind of hanging on every word and you don't realize you are. I literally didn't realize when I watched The Tennessee Kid, I was like sitting up by the end of it. I wasn't like lounging. I was just like actively involved in his stories, even though he's slower than most comics. He's not like Emo Phillips or anything like that, where he's doing like he's like stumbling through and you're barely getting to a joke.
Emo Phillips.
Do you?
Yeah, I don't know him at all.
I could see like why he's funny. He's also very like, I know he's like the king of alt.
It's too wacky.
But he's not the king of alt.
No,
he's more like the founder or something. I know people
he's like a niche off of alt.
Yeah, but everybody thinks of him as like the like a pinnacle to get to for some reason.
I've literally never heard anybody talk about that, but I also...
They even say it like in Crashing, they talk about...
I don't follow alt comics.
I mean, I don't follow that much. I didn't even know it was a thing really until you told me, and then I realized a lot of people I like are alt. I didn't know.
And all the people I like are just straight up stand-ups.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I didn't know that was even a thing either, but like...
comedy purists.
Yeah. But so I'm going to start going through my notes because this is... So,
is this your notes from all of it or just Tennessee Kid?
I did sort of a mixture of all. It's just like a long document. So it's... the first thing I said is he has this like subtle dryness that it's not like even like our kind of dryness. It's like it is like a dad's kind of dryness, but like a really funny dad. Like it's that dryness of like your conversational dryness.
It's a dad who's like a wordsmith.
Yeah, like a dad who's like you know when you meet like an adult and you're just like that fucking guy's so cool. That guy just knows like every sentence he says is perfect. And you're like, how it's like effortlessly good. Yeah. I don't know how to describe it. Like that's also the thing is like I'm pretty good with words, and I found it like hard to like qualify his comedy. That's
another. It's a comedy thing, especially with this Tennessee Kid special that just came out.
Yeah.
There's no fat on any of his bits.
No.
No fat at all.
Because you don't realize how many bits he goes through.
Yeah.
Like he it's funny too because he tells a lot of stories, like not in like a Birbiglia way.
Stories.
Yeah, but they're long like Birbiglia's are. Actually, he is kind of similar, but it's not like
he's a storyteller, but it's all just jokes.
I was gonna say I feel like those two kind of...
The story is the vehicle, but it's not the main thing you're paying attention to.
He actually, I would say, is a good like line placement
between
him and Birbiglia is like where like pure storytelling is.
That's a weird one.
He's a weird one unto himself, I know, but I'm just saying like I'm always trying to figure out who that dude is that shows me the difference between the two, and it actually might be him. But yeah, so I talked about the old friend thing. So I was saying the clean comedy makes it all feel like almost more natural for some reason. Like too much unclean makes it seem like entertainment and less like an evening with a friend. Like,
sorry, say that one more time. I coughed.
So basically I was saying like, because he's clean, you don't notice it. But sometimes a lot of comedians throw fucks and stuff in there to emphasize jokes. Like they use,
it's very lazy.
He doesn't do that.
Writing.
But even like really good comics will do it, especially when you can see him like.
Well, because sometimes like a well-placed fuck is better than any word.
Totally.
But there's also a thing that you see with open micers, and I had a quick conversation with this comedian Tina D-Ball one night after leaving work. That this comic was, he didn't have anything like written down. Mm-hmm. He was just like trying to work through a story.
Yeah,
it was just lazy writing, and to make it funnier, he just started throwing fucks and shits in.
Yeah.
And it just didn't make any sense to the story. But he was trying to be like, dude, this fucking guy, like, it was just filler.
Well, and
it's very annoying.
And it's also like, especially like Bargatze's style, like if you and I are telling each other a story, like if you and I are just like kind of laughing around, we might be cussing. But if you're actually telling a story, you're not actually going to cuss that much because there's no need unless you're really emphasizing a big part of the story. So I never I feel like had he cursed, I would have been like, oh, that feels weird. Like he didn't need to. Like, why do you? That would have felt like lazy writing.
Well,
to me.
all of his stories are so mellow.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So if he was just like, yeah, and so then I was like, fucking just going down. Like it would have felt out of place. Like even obviously knowing that he hadn't cursed the whole time, but
it's like teaching yourself how to remove the word like from your vocabulary.
It is, yeah.
I have been editing these, and I hate every single time I say like or because it's all the time.
We both do it all the time.
I know, it's the worst.
Yeah, we do it a lot.
It's so obnoxious.
It's our generation, though.
That's true.
It's like our generation.
It's like
it's like our generation. But that
might just be an anxiety thing too. I just don't want to say the wrong thing.
Not just that, but I think you and I are both kind of one of those people where we have like we're kind of already ahead of what we were about to say. And so we just kind of word vomit a lot. Yeah. And then we're kind of like, oh, shit, let me tidy that up. But then we're doing it in the middle of talking. And we're already thinking about our next thought. Yeah. I've noticed that.
You think too fast for how you can talk?
Yes. And so like then we're talking really fast and it's also disjointed. And then we start moving between topics. So people probably are like listening to this going like, maybe this is probably more
Just threw in a filler like.
I know. Fuck, damn it. Yeah, they're probably listening to
I
this
would have
thinking.
never noticed it.
I would, yeah,
I
and
would
I
not have addressed it.
I know.
'Cause I don't notice when you say it ever.
Really?
I just notice when I say it, listening back.
You don't say it that much. I feel like.
Oh, I do. I say it
you?
all the time. Yeah.
See, I don't notice either. But it's
I also
our
just say
age
yeah.
group. Yeah. You do say yeah a lot.
say yeah
That
a
I notice a
lot.
lot. I also, my thing is like, I say, it's one of those things where I say that a lot.
You do say that.
I say that a lot. I don't know why, but it's one of those things where
It's one of those things where you don't even realize you're saying it.
yeah, I don't know why I do that. Yeah. But I was gonna say he has this like, it's this level of like mundane where you're like, this guy is definitely telling me a story that I've heard before, but the way he's doing it, there's something different. Like he's telling me about his uncle, like he's going to that wedding in Tennessee Kid. I'll just use that because I want people to. I think that's the one that I want to reference the most because
It's the most relevant one.
well, and they can go and
easiest
watch
to
it.
find,
I want people you can and delivery is important.
Because Full-Time Magic and Yelled at by a Clown, you get them on Spotify.
Yes.
But if you want to actually watch Full-Time Magic, you have to have a Comedy Central subscription.
Yes,
And
you can find little clips on YouTube, but
yeah, like little teasers there.
it's not
little
worth it.
2-minute
Yeah,
clips.
they're cut together jokes. It's not
And
good.
Yelled at by a Clown, like we said earlier, there's no video for
Yeah.
it.
So that's why I'm going to reference Tennessee Kid the most because I want
Tennessee
people
Kid's
to.
the best.
It is the best. Yeah. Yelled at by a Clown. He's using. You've listened to that before, right? He uses a
I
lot
listened
of
to
the.
it
last
week too.
Yeah,
After we talked
he uses a
about
lot of that material about. So, prefacing this, his dad. We've talked about his dad is a clown and a magician. His dad was a clown first, and now he just does magic,
Full-time magic.
full-time magic. Yeah, and he Nate Bargatze really relied on that, the crux of like that being funny for that first special. Obviously, it's called Yelled at by a Clown.
It is funny.
No, I know, but I'm saying like this new one, it's more diverse. Like there's more topics to go over.
Yeah. Does he even reference the?
Only when he's talking about him and his dad doing that trick together.
Oh yeah.
That's the only one. But that makes sense because then it's evolved and now he's like part of it and like, you know what I mean?
Doesn't he tell that story in Full-Time Magic too?
Does he? Did I miss that?
I think he might.
The story of when him and his dad did the trick together?
Maybe. It all runs together now with comics, especially if I've seen them live.
Oh, really?
Well, because I watched 6 sets of Nate Bargatze's.
Yeah. Well, and he also referenced, that's the one little thing I would say is he does reference that a lot, but it's just so funny that you don't care.
Yeah.
Like it's not like a crutch. It's just something he does reference a lot. So you do you can't pinpoint what comes from what special as easily.
Well, everybody can picture also having a dad that's a clown and how fucking insane that would be.
Because he talks about it so much and now. Like you're just like, yeah, when he's talking about, well, also in Tennessee Kid, he talks about his dad riding in the car with the Easter Bunny. And the Easter Bunny's head was too big.
So it was his
to the
first
side.
memory.
Yeah.
Also the one where he had to get in an ambulance and go to the hospital.
Yes. Oh,
And-
dude. No, sorry, continue.
Yeah, he was going to the hospital for some reason in an ambulance, and they were sitting in the parking lot. They're like, "We can't really go in yet." And they're like, "Why?" Like, there's a clown just out there, just kind of making a fuss. He's like,
my
and they're
dad.
like, "We know that clown."
It's my dad.
Or doesn't he say like, "That's for me"?
That's for me. Yeah, that fuss is for me. Yeah. I love that little delivery he does. He's like, they're like, there's a clown out there making a fuss. He's like, actually, yeah, that fuss is for me. He's just got that delivery, like that drawl. So that's another thing. He is like the epitome.
accent too.
He's like the epitome of when you say Southern charm, he's what you mean. You don't mean like Mr. Beauregard and shit like that. People think of like,
I do declare, sweetheart.
they think of like old
Can I get you
plantation
a
homes and shit.
Ice cold glass of sweet tea.
Yeah, just like molasses running out of your mouth.
Whose bit is that?
That's from Andy from The Office.
Oh yeah.
See, you're doing like a
molasses running out of your mouth.
You're doing more like a Texas or like like a Mississippi, but you're doing Savannah. Savannah's more like having molasses running out of your mouth. Slow draw.
Slow draw.
And he's from Tennessee, which is like a level of Southern accent that we have in Missouri, like where we are in St. Louis. It's like very like common for that same sort of Southern accent as the one we have here.
Yeah.
So it also feels very relatable, but that also is like, just like St. Louis is like considered, our little area of the country is considered like the non-regional American diction. Like our accent is the non-regional American accent.
Yeah, it's just normal.
His is like the sort of quintessential Southern accent. Like that's sort of like
How you doing?
not even that. It's so subtle.
Kind of like that too.
Yeah.
but it's like,
How you doing?
I'm like, hey man, how you
Hey,
doing?
how you doing? Yeah.
How you doing?
So my uncle was out there, and he was like, it's just
Yeah.
it's hard,
Well,
it's softer inflections.
I think it's also
It's not harder.
It also has to do with him leaving Tennessee. and
True.
going
Yeah,
to
you're
New
right.
York.
You're right. And well, he's also like he's more cultured Southern. Like he's into Vandy and shit like that, which is like basically like a Midwest Ivy League type of
As for
school.
them smart kids,
Vandy's where them smart ass motherfuckers go. There's like a few Ivy Leagues in the Midwest. There's Vanderbilt. There's WashU here in St. Louis, Washington University. What's the one in Chicago?
Columbia.
No, that's not the same Columbia.
Oh yeah.
That one is an Ivy League school.
Northwestern.
Northwestern. Thank you. Yes, Columbia.
There is
not Columbia College.
There's a Columbia School of the Arts.
yeah.
in Chicago.
Oh yeah, and then there's Columbia College in Columbia, Missouri. So then you have
There's a Columbia College in Columbia, Missouri.
it was an all girls school. There's Stevens, Mizzou, and then there's
Stevens is the all girls school.
and then there's Columbia College was an all girls school. It's Coco.
Oh,
But anyways, so he
it's a little inside baseball for
any of us that
middle of Missouri colleges.
any of us
for
that
ya.
know Columbia, Missouri.
6 people do.
MIZ,
It's where the
am I right?
Waltons are from.
The Waltons.
Ever heard of them?
Old Stanley,
Walmart
Enos Stanley Kroenke,
founders?
the biggest penis face in the whole world.
Penis face.
Stanley Kroenke?
Oh, is he from
He's
Columbia?
from Columbia, yeah.
Jesus,
He's
all
named
the
after two
fucking
Cardinals.
super rich people are from Columbia.
Yeah, I don't know.
All the
Mizzou.
rich Missourians.
Yeah, rich Missourians. What a funny combo of
Like
words.
6 of them.
Yeah, and they're all there. And then there's Nelly. And the rest have left.
You know he's in the loo.
Yeah, he tells you. You can find me
John Hamm.
in St. Louis. Oh, John Goodman, Ellie Kemper. You got James Gunn,
Got a few
Jenna
rich ones.
Fisher. But the thing is, there's enough that we know them all. And we're done with the list.
Cheryl Crow.
It's not St. Louis.
She's from Missouri though.
Yeah, she's in the Boot Heel.
Is she?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it does. I don't know who else
She
we
did throw
have.
my picture away.
Did she?
Yeah, she sat down and cried the day. I'm so happy that you didn't know what I was doing on the first one, that you asked a question.
Why did I think she would have your fucking picture? Sheryl Crow.
Why'd she throw your picture away? Thanks for giving me the old softball.
God. Oh. Okay, so let's keep going here on Nate. I got a few more notes that I really want to hit on. Actually, I have quite a bit. So he does that. His bit in Tennessee Kid. I'm skipping down to this one because it's one of my favorite jokes for some reason.
Of all time? Or just from the special?
Well, I don't know, dude.
Favorite of his?
It literally,
Tell me what it is.
Maybe all time because I think about it like afterwards.
About how funny it is?
It's that bit about the Sixth Sense when he's saying that we just assumed that he and his wife didn't talk for a year before we assumed that he was dead.
Yeah.
They lived in the same home and never spoke for a year.
Yeah.
Like his bit about the Sixth Sense and talking about like spoiler, it just fucking cracked my shit up.
He talks about he's like I don't want to spoil anything.
But if you haven't like seen it, it's been out for over 20 years. Like I can't help you. And he's right. Like we just assumed that they hadn't spoken
they'd never
for a
talked.
year. But he's not a ghost. They just live in the same home and sleep in the same bed and never speak.
Yeah.
I don't get it, dude. Dude, I actively think about that joke. What was I? Oh, and then so
Real nice you got there.
thank you. I have this note probably 7 times on here. How is this dude not a superstar?
Yeah. It's mind-boggling that he's not huge.
I don't understand.
He has been on Conan like 20 times.
He's been on Fallon quite a couple times, not quite a bit, but 2 times.
But it's still weird that like it's just not a big act.
Well, it
He
sounds
didn't
like
sell out every show for Helium. He sold out a lot,
yeah,
but
it sounds
wasn't
like
every show.
It sounds like people in comedy know though.
Yeah, I mean, he like literally every city he goes into, he should sell 2,000 tickets easily.
He should
for a weekend or a one-nighter.
Yeah, but I mean, you have to be pretty I mean, who else is Jim Gaffigan writing an op-ed piece about? Like being like, how do you not know him and you need to type of a thing, you know? I think that's a pretty big statement, like especially from like probably you could argue the best clean comic going right now outside of maybe Seinfeld. You could argue between him and Regan and you don't really have a winning argument either way, I don't think.
I would say the biggest clean comic, not the best.
I think he might be.
I'd say Nate's the best.
Oh yeah, no, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like I'm saying, like you're right, the biggest for sure. I think Nate's
most popular.
Nate's the best. Yeah,
because all the most popular comics, none of them are my favorite comic.
No, yeah, I'm trying. Yeah, I don't think so.
I mean, Chappelle.
He's on like a different level though. Chris Rock, you love Chris Rock, right?
Yeah, his new special's phenomenal. Everybody go watch Tambourine from Chris Rock. It's great.
I need to watch that. I'm trying to think. Like, the biggest ones. I mean, I do love Gabriel Iglesias. He's
loved Ralphie May. R.I.P.
Oh God, yeah. Fucking. I don't know. I can't even think of another huge one.
I mean, Kevin Hart. I haven't seen his new special.
Yeah, I need to give it a shot.
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, his last two weren't very good.
They were just
they're okay.
mediocre.
Yeah,
but
I wouldn't say mediocre, but just like, especially after like the first his first two that really popped were so good.
Yeah,
that they just didn't really live up to the hype.
Big Little Man. That was probably the funniest one that I can think of.
Big Little Man's good. Seriously Funny is pretty good.
Oh no, Seriously Funny is the funniest one. Yeah. That's
I mean, it's seriously funny.
Seriously, it's funny.
Yeah.
Check
it out.
You should.
Seriously funny.
I'm trying to think of any of the big ones, but I think because then you get down to like pure, like more like realist stand-ups, like who's the guy with the hat that you always talk about that you love?
Guy with the hat.
He wears a hat every time.
The fuck are you talking about?
He's David Tell. Oh, he wears a hat.
Yes, he does wear a hat.
Jesus Christ, you love David Tell too.
I do.
God.
But he's not mainstream.
That's what I mean. That's because you get down below those big hitters, and then the biggest ones are.
Well, also I would say Rogan's probably up there too for the biggest comics, but he's not my favorite comic. Not even close.
He doesn't do it for me that much. I like his podcast more than I like his stand-up.
So do I.
And I actually don't like his podcast that much.
His Triggered special is pretty fucking great.
No, it's very funny, but he's not.
His podcast is better though.
Yes,
he's just an interesting guy.
Burr, Tom Segura. I really like Chris D'Elia now. I've been listening more of him. He's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Actually, I shouldn't say that. I forgot what special it was. I liked.
I didn't like that Man on Fire special that much.
No, that one I did not.
But I liked his Comedians of the World set.
I think that might have been. No, I watched Nate Bargatze on the stand-ups too. He was very funny on there. Good. I went really deep, man.
You should go through and watch. I
need to watch
a lot of the stand-ups because there's a lot of good ones on there. I think Rachel Feinstein does one.
Oh yeah, okay.
She's super funny. Dan Soder does it. One of the best 30 minutes ever is Kyle Kinane's the stand-up set.
He's really funny.
Yeah.
You told me about him too a while ago.
One stand-up special that nobody should watch if you haven't already is The Degenerates.
Not good?
All the comics on it are phenomenal. Mm-hmm. They're all great comics. I've seen all of them live besides Big J.
Okay.
They're all terrific comics.
Yeah.
And the audience is such horseshit.
Yeah.
They shot it in Vegas because it's The Degenerates. Yeah. So it's a Vegas audience. It's all tourists that were just like, oh, let's go see this show.
Yeah.
It's for Netflix.
Yeah.
And the audience is terrible. It's not a comedy audience.
And why would you shoot
some people that I think you're slowly understanding this more, that live comedy is so much different than actual than specials, because the comic and the audience all feeds off of each other.
Yeah, it's a symbiotic thing.
It's a completely different thing.
You need each other to be on the same page.
Which is why apparently like seeing those big shows in like 5,000 plus seat venues just don't really do it. Just feels like you're watching a special. Yeah. There's not that connection there.
Yeah, that's like the thing is like I remember walking out of and he's not funny. Well, he probably is funny. You'll know what he might have something. I just don't see it. But fucking Jeff Dunham. When I was in high school, one of my friends
I used to like him for a little bit.
Yeah, one of my friend got tickets to go see him for free at this place out here called the Family Arena. And so there's like 12,000 people there, like 10,000 people seeing Jeff Dunham.
Shit.
But I think that dude probably could be funny. Like there's probably something there, and he's clearly talented at what he's doing.
He's also a hack.
He is. That's what I was going to say.
Fucking hack.
Yeah, and so the thing is
he's like generic terrorist character.
Yeah, old man.
Jalapeno that's a Mexican, an old man, a redneck.
Yep. It doesn't really do anything.
Which is why guys like him and like Terry Fader have these giant residencies in Vegas.
Yep.
Because that's just the kind of fucking drivel you can put out. The hordes of fat people that go to Vegas will just lop up like it's a clam chowder.
Yep. Well, because the majority of people that are going to see that shit can't see through to know that somebody's a hack or not. As far as they know, you're just telling them comedy.
They don't know comedy.
Yeah. So they wouldn't know that you're a hack.
There's a reason why The Big Bang Theory is the biggest sitcom of all time. It's terrible.
It's the biggest sitcom of all time?
It's the longest running, sorry.
Oh. Equally disturbing.
It's 12 seasons. There's not a funny joke on that show.
No, and that show is offensively bad.
It's terrible.
It's awful. Especially as somebody who's like I think I'm safe to call myself a nerd.
Yeah, I've been to a couple cons.
Yeah, and you know stuff.
Yeah, we read
read comics.
We talk about comic books on this
a
show.
lot, yeah. So I mean, like you're
and
talking
that show
about,
is
yeah, they just don't get it. But I want to.
No, I mean some exec fucking gets it because they know that people are morons.
They know people that are going to watch that. Well, it's the same. I don't know if it's the same showrunner or what it is, but it's people. It's some of
if
the people.
If it changed showrunners, that's even more offensive.
Oh, I don't know about that, but I was going to say it's the people that made it originally. I think are producers from 2.5 Men.
That makes a lot of sense.
I know. Yeah. They're like, okay, 2.5 Men is clearly
2.5 Men had some like funny, slightly edgy stuff.
There was some good stuff.
There was like cocaine joke. Like they were.
Well, if you think about it, at the time, 12 years ago, having a show about nerds where a nerd gets the hot girl is super edgy in a lot of people's minds.
That is true.
So edgy. You're talking about the time period of like, and this is actually a pretty good movie. I went back and watched it and it holds up. Is The Girl Next Door?
Oh. I love that movie.
That movie actually very much holds up.
Does it?
There's one joke where they call people gay that you're kind of like, okay, but like they use it.
There's the whole friend storyline that Ross's ex-wife.
Oh no,
lesbian, and that's the butt.
No, I'm saying like that, but see, that's what makes Friends like kind of now. You're like, I'm probably not going to watch it that much. But like she's The Girl Next Door, like they do that one little bit, but other than that, it's very like it's also pretty progressive. Like talking about like back when like porn stars were not considered like people, they were just like naked girls you see on a movie screen. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you know what's really changed that is like social media because people just like
love Mia Khalifa and shit.
Yeah, well, people also like porn stars are on podcasts.
They are.
Like Riley Reid is super funny.
Yeah.
She's on a lot of podcasts with comics, and she's very funny.
Yeah.
Danny Daniels, I think, has her own YouTube show where she has comics and porn stars come and eat dinner with her.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. So that's what that's what you're talking about. Is
there's
that
more
period.
outlets for anybody.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. But I was gonna say, like, so that's that time period.
Yeah.
So then you're thinking like, oh my god, like in that one, Emil Hirsch, like he's such a noob, like he wants to go to fucking Harvard or some shit, and he's like him. It's him and Paul Dano's his best friend.
It is Emil Hirsch,
and Paul Dano's his best friend, the tall guy with the long hair and the glasses.
Holy fuck!
Yeah, like super critically acclaimed director Paul Dano.
Yeah,
yeah. And it's like
hilarious actor Paul Dano.
Dude, that movie really holds up.
Good actor.
Timothy Olyphant is really good in that movie. Like he's
there's that many good people in that movie.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
Yeah, it's really good.
You have to go back.
So, but anyways,
what's the girl? Because isn't the girls
Alicia Cuthbert? Oh yeah. Okay. She's not done as much, but back in
I just used my Mic Ultra as the microphone.
Yeah, you're like, no. Yes, you still did it.
Well, I did it.
Nobody heard that.
Well, nobody saw it.
Yeah. Well, they didn't hear it either, probably. There's no microphone. He just used his can again, mocking how he did it the first time. And you never heard it, probably. We're going to go back and find out. But to anybody that saw that movie, though, back in that time, Alicia Cuthbert was like, it was her and back me if I'm wrong. It was her and Jessica Alba were like the two girls that everybody was like. Halle Berry was still a big name, but for our generation, Jessica Alba was huge.
Yeah, Jessica Alba was real big.
She was probably the biggest of our.
I'm trying to think who is time period. I was almost thinking like from Wedding Crashers. I was going to say Rachel McAdams.
Yeah,
but that's a girl that's also like
I would marry
time
her.
doesn't exist around her because she is like.
You would want to marry Rachel McAdams. Like Jessica Alba was a girl. You're like, damn, so fucking sexy. That's like what you thought about when you're like 12.
Good luck, Chuck.
Good luck, Chuck.
With Dane Cook.
Oh yeah, wait. I was thinking of Chuck and Larry.
Oh, Jessica Biel.
Jessica Biel's a big one.
That's a big one because she was big on Seventh Heaven when we were kids. Right.
Yeah, and you also had Ryan Reynolds' wife, Blake Lively. She's another big one. From dude, I saw that movie in theaters like 5 times. No. Because I was really into this girl in 8th grade. Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants.
Oh, yeah. It's so funny that out of Green Lantern, the only positive thing is that those two gorgeous people found each other.
And that's a very big positive.
That's a very big positive.
They're like, it's just so offensive because they're so cool.
Yeah.
They're very attractive.
Super cool.
Super funny. Yeah. Their kid is probably going to be like, their kid is 100%.
A king or a god.
Or Jesus. Like, it's him. He's back.
No, she's back. 2019.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, she's back. So let's wrap up on Nate.
Okay.
I told Alex the best way I can sum him up, especially for me personally, is as somebody that I'm like, you and I both are like funny dudes. Like we're like, especially in different friend groups.
Oh, thank you.
No, but am I right? Like in different friend groups, if you and I weren't friends, we would be the funny dude. So when we hang out, people like hanging out with us because we're like funny dudes and we can riff together.
Yeah.
And that's why, so like we like being that. And I don't know about you, but for me, he's like aspirational level of like how to be a funny person. Because he's funny. I can guarantee you he is like, that's the kind of like comedy that if you and I were funny enough, we would just talk that way.
Yeah. I mean, his personality is just funny.
Yeah. Well,
his life experiences are all like very weirdly funny.
Yeah, he's got that really good way, and I feel like funny people just have this in general of looking at the things that most people would just think of, well, it's a mundane thing that happened in my life, and being like, no, that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Just wait till I tell you about why. And he's just so good at making it even better. So that's why, like, for me, like, I watch that. I'm like, fuck, I wish I could be that funny. It's the same way as, like, I listen to Black Parade. And I'm like, I wish I could make an album this good. But I never will.
Oh, nice segue.
Thank you.
Want to turn me on a little bit.
Oh my God. What's that long, hard? Oh, that's actually your e-cig.
Yeah.
It's legitimately on your cock.
It is.
I said cock and I felt gross. It's on your cock.
Called your friend's penis his cock.
You're throbbing. Oh, look at if I just started going into it.
Jesus.
So,
filled up with blood. Purple dick.
Let's just welcome everyone to the Black Parade segment.
Actually, while we're doing this, in honor of Gerard Way.
Oh, you're gonna do another one?
And Gerard Way's alcoholism.
Yes, he had alcoholism on. Did you listen to any of their other stuff? You didn't go like me with Nate, where you went to other stuff.
I didn't. No, well, because
do you think now that you've listened to that album, you would listen to more of their stuff?
Yeah, I will.
Just in general.
I will definitely do
that. Congratulations on being an alcoholic at one point. Woohoo.
Cheers.
Cheers to the Black Parade. 3 Cheers to Sweet Revenge was the album before the Black Parade.
Oh. So I have a couple pages of notes.
So, well, I'll just set it up the same way you did for Nate. I'll just say I gave Alex what I would say is probably, if not my favorite, it's probably my favorite album of all time.
Second
but at least,
favorite album.
It's probably Seosin's. Well, it's Seosin's self-titled. Voices on that album. I would say those two probably at different points have been number one. I think Black Parade, Seosin's is more like has like an emotional meaning to me. In terms of like best album, it's probably the Black Parade. If not, at the very least, it's tied for it's like 1A and 1B. You know what I mean? But
I don't know if I'd go with best album
for you.
For me, it's a great. Don't get me wrong, it's a great.
You just listened to it too, so the fact that it's already that high is pretty impressive. I feel like.
It's a fucking amazing album. I still think my favorite album is probably Get Born by Jet. That's a good one.
That's another really good one. That Silverstein album too. I'm blanking on the name of it. Is incredible.
Oh, I know the one with the girl that's naked on the waterfall. That one.
That's such a good album.
I know you really Loose Lips Sink Ships.
No,
isn't that on that album though?
No, that's on the Sands with the one with the burning house.
Yeah.
Because they also had that one with the robot. That's really good too. Like the broken robot.
That's the robot one too.
Yeah.
Okay. So the way I did this album, I listened to it the first time, and one thing about this album is Gerard Way squeezes so many words into like each line and each lyric that you really miss out on a lot of what he's saying if you're just listening to it.
Yeah, like sonically and not paying attention.
Yeah. So what I was doing, like when I really delved into it, I was listening to like bits of it, and I was on this website Genius.
Yeah, that's the best site for lyrics.
And so each like lyric has like a little hot link you can click on, and it pulls up one of their contributors that they kind of have their deeper meaning of each thing. So like in there, it would be like little bits of history on Gerard Way and My Chem to tell you kind of how that how it informs on this.
Should we probably really quick? We should probably preface. There's actually probably people who don't know who they are.
Who My Chem is?
Yeah. So this day and age.
Do you want to set it up then?
You go ahead. You probably. I mean, you.
Well, because I didn't do much My Chem research. I mostly just like listened and delved into this album.
Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off too. I just realized people might not know. They're basically like, I would say if you want to go, they're probably like one of the biggest rock bands of the 2000s.
I would say it's like
them, the Killers,
quintessential like punk. It's not punk rock.
They're definitely
like pop punk rock.
If you want to say that emo is a genre, which is very debatable, then they're the emo band.
I would say it's Yeah.
They don't like that. They didn't like that term originally, but now they're cool with it. And so I would say, at the very least, they're one of the biggest rock bands of the 2000s. I think that's easy.
Yeah.
I would say it's like them, The Killers, Coldplay, and maybe like Fall Out Boy.
Yeah.
Panic at the Disco.
Yeah.
That's it.
I agree with those. And in terms of like mainstream popularity.
And theirs was so short lived that you can't really change it. They're like, I think they've sold like 20 million albums. They're huge. And their singer Gerard Way is still super relevant if you read comics or watch Umbrella Academy. So anyways, I was just setting that up. Continue.
Yeah. And that's one thing you really realize with this album. Like if you just listen to this album, it's a great fucking album.
Yes.
Just musically.
Yeah.
Tonally, it's great.
Yeah. It's iconic if you're from that era.
A lot of really fun like ebbs and flows and breakdowns in a lot of the songs.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things about this album happens in between the first and second songs. It took me 3 times. Like it took me
Between the end and dead.
between the end and dead.
We got to talk about the concept too.
I know.
Sorry, continue.
Just musically in between that first and second song. The first time I listened to it, I didn't see where the transition of the song was.
Yeah.
They flow so beautifully
They're
together
effortlessly good. Yeah.
that I was like, wait, is this a new song?
Yeah.
Because I was looking at when I really realized it, I was looking at the lyrics.
Yeah.
And so I looked at the lyrics and I was like, why is there no more lyrics? And I was like, oh, is this another
This is
fucking
the next
song?
Yeah.
And so I had to rewind it and I listened to the transition like 3 times. It's like, oh my God. It's just great.
What were you going to say about Genius and like the history about the band? You're saying you're going into some little specific thing. You're reading the lyrics. And you could.
Oh, I was just saying that. So they have contributors on there that they say, kind of in terms of the concept of the Black Parade, they say kind of what each line they think means, like comparatively to that and to the concept of the album. But then occasionally it'll be a lyric that doesn't really fit to the concept of the album, so they put it in context of the band instead.
Yes,
I'll get to that in like towards the end for Famous Last Words, because it really fits in with that one.
Yeah.
To where it kind of strays away from the concept. Same with Teenagers. A little bit.
So just overall, how would you say the album like ebbs and flows? Like, like going through like sonically, like do you think as like a full like single piece of music?
So it goes from like funeral dirge, like in the beginning, where it's like just this kind of it's moving fast, it's moving quickly, but there's like this underlying tone throughout the whole thing that's just like this slow, like pallbearer's walk. It's like that kind of a feel.
It's a good way to describe it.
And it's such a weird, interesting album.
It is,
because the lines are so blurred between this character that it's written about, the patient, and between Gerard Way as a person and kind of what he was going through.
Right,
Because like knowing that he was going through alcoholism now, because I did all of this on the album, and then I found out that he was an alcoholic
back then,
up until a year after this album came out.
Yeah, so he was like dealing with alcoholism.
This is like deep in the throes of alcoholism. Or not deep in the throes of it, but actually deep in the throes of it, but also trying to fight and claw his way back out of it.
He kept going cold turkey and then relapsing and going cold turkey and relapsing.
Yeah, so there's a lot of fighting in this album.
Yes.
There's a lot of resentment in this album. There's a lot of hatred in this album. There's also a lot of like, it's hatred towards other people. It's also a lot of self-hate.
Yeah. And it's also, he's literally, I feel like you can see him wrestling with the idea of like, this disease could kill me. And what would that mean?
100%.
Which I think is like, that's what blows my mind about it. It's such a weird way to write an album. But yeah, sorry, continue.
So what I thought was interesting, so I didn't know all that stuff about the patient before I started listening to the album.
Yeah.
That was only in like delving into deeper. So in the very beginning, the end, I thought was 100% autobiographical. I thought it was just Gerard Way talking about himself.
Well, see, it's tough to know.
Exactly. Yeah. One thing I liked about the end, I had to write it in here, and I thought it was just a funny example of why I never got into this album.
Oh, okay.
I hate Blink-182.
Oh, no.
In the end, in the very beginning, he says despair and deserve like Tom DeLonge. where he goes, deserve.
Yeah,
He does that, and he goes,
He has those.
I'm in despair.
He does kind of have. He doesn't do it nearly as badly as Tom does
No, I mean, I think it works for him.
because he's doing it as a character too.
Yeah.
Like we'll talk about that, especially in Dead. I don't know if you caught that bit where he's doing the voice of the doctor, where he's like, "And in this operation, found a complication." Like,
I don't think
like the bridge after the chorus where he's like, "And in my honest observation during this," it's the voice of the doctor.
Yeah,
he does these like little characters.
Yeah,
and the end is definitely
there's a couple of them where it's like the intro or the outro is, like a tertiary character in this story. That's not the patient or the lover.
I think it's Sleep is the one where it starts off with him and it's like something terror is like gripping my throat.
And that's actually it's very interesting. That's from a night that Gerard Way spent in a haunted mansion, and he woke up after sleeping in this haunted mansion, and he was describing these night terrors that he was having. That he thought that he was like legitimately gripped by demons and was being choked by demons.
I wonder if it's because they recorded in the Paramore, which is supposed to be haunted.
The Paramore Mansion,
which is there's a band named after it too. And like,
what's that?
Well,
band?
they're named after. Yeah, they're also named after like the idea of being a Paramore, but like the Paramore is like a very famous place, like a recording studio / mansion.
But so I'm just going to do a brief overview of this concept for the album.
Yeah. Okay.
So basically, there's this character of the patient, and he is diagnosed and dying of cancer, and he's lashing out at the world because he knows that this life that he's led doesn't really bode well for him in the afterlife, and he has like this soulmate that he is incredibly in love with, but he doesn't want to see her see him.
Yep, the way
like,
he is.
Go through what he's about to go through.
Yeah, there's
and
one.
So
song.
he basically just like it's like literally he does the thing that Arya Stark does to her dog, where she's like, "No, I want to stay," and she just like throws rocks
and he's like,
at him.
"I don't want you anymore," type of thing.
Yeah, where he just starts being a fucking cock to her.
There's a song called House of Wolves where they really delve into that.
Yeah. So yeah, I literally went through each song and have
Let's start with the end.
Each song.
Which is, I just want to say, this album for me, like one note for me that I love is the album starts with him dying, basically. Like he dies, sort of. Like it's
almost
unclear,
like he dies like a. Is it The Night Before Christmas? What's the Scrooge thing? It's kind of like
the
that.
Night Before Christmas.
It's kind of like where he's seeing like
A Christmas Carol.
Christmas Carol.
Yeah,
because there's these ebbs in it where he goes back in his past and he has visions of his past that were good, and then he has visions of his present where it's like horrifically bad
things he's done,
and then he has visions of his future and eventually gets to his future.
And the last thing he says
positive
are his last words, like his. So yeah, the end is what it starts with. That's why.
Oh yeah, and then so in the song "Dead," I love the outro. The outro to that song is. It's not really chanting, but it's like this back and forth, like sing-songy that Jarway does with himself.
Yeah,
and it's like life is a joke.
If this is all, then why are we laughing? If this is
all a joke, why aren't we laughing?
Why aren't we laughing? You're right. Yeah, which is a great line.
Yeah, it's a great lyric.
You're gonna find that like he's a wordsmith. You've already found this, but I'm saying like we'll be going through this, and I'm sure Alex has like written some different quotes from different lyrics down. But like he just has these. Yeah, he's really good at like turning a phrase and making them rhyme. Yeah,
he's a beautiful, beautiful author.
Yeah. So yeah, keep going.
Oh, so then I have once it gets to "This Is How I Disappear."
Yeah,
which is the third track on the album. That's when I really found out about the patient. That's when I really kind of discovered that there was this character that he was really singing about.
Yeah,
and that there's this other character of the lover, which is the patient's lover.
Right. That becomes bigger then with "This Is How I Disappear."
Yeah, and then in the bridge to that song, that's when you really find out that from the titles of the first two songs and what's happening, you know that he's dying.
Yeah.
But that's when you really like realize that he's dying and she's like holding on to him and he doesn't want her to.
He wants her to go.
Yeah, he wants her to let her go so he can just literally just die alone. And just die by himself.
Yep.
Oh shit.
No, continue.
Apparently, I didn't write a lot of notes for This Is How I Disappear.
No, I mean, This Is How I Disappear is like a very cool song. But it's also sort of, I think it's definitely like it's just really to introduce that concept, I think. Some of the songs are clearly him writing for the concept, which there's nothing wrong with that at all.
Yeah, there's also other songs that are so off concept.
I think
Teenagers doesn't make any sense.
I mean, it's great. It's just
Famous
a great
Last
song.
Words. It's literally a combination of the two.
Yeah,
of the concept and not the concept.
And then you have songs which
that's
are clearly
that's what really shows the bleeding of the two characters of the patient and the actual person that is Gerard Way.
Yeah. It's just
yeah. All right. So and This Is How I Disappear.
Uh-huh.
And Without You Is How I Disappear and Live My Life Alone Forever Now. Oh boy.
Yeah. Just so happy. One thing I want to say about this too is people always look at this as like a quintessential emo album, but it's not really like it's not like what you think of as emo. Like Hawthorne Heights is what you think of as emo. Like Slit My Wrist and Black My Eyes. Yeah. This is more of like
this is more of like novel level.
Yeah, like it's much higher brow. Like but it
doesn't just go down to like the basest forms of depression, all that kind of stuff. Like there's a lot of nuance and all that kind of stuff with how people battle demons and
sorry, continue.
A thing about This Is How I Disappear, how I took it the first time I heard it, I thought it was more like it was Gerard Way writing to this character that was the patient, and I thought the patient was like his old self.
Yeah.
I thought like it was like his old self was dying and he was like sad to see him go, but that old self was like the good positive parts about him. Yeah. Then you move into like The Sharpest Lives where he's drowning in all this alcohol and partying and crazy.
That one is where you really hit the
But you also realize, because then he starts talking about the actual girl. So then you realize that the character is actually talking to or is upset that this person is realizing where they're going. And it's not him pointing a mirror at himself. But it also is.
It clearly is.
Yeah. It's Gerard Way pointing a mirror at himself and using this character of the patient to do it with a lover instead of which he got married the year after this album came out too. So
I don't know if anybody knows, but there's a very famous band called Mindless Self-Indulgence, and she's the bass player for that band.
Lindsay.
Yeah.
Lynn, Lyn.
They're a very strange band. Yeah.
Oh, I could tell from the name.
I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, their lead singer's name is Johnny Urine.
Oh boy. The Sharpest Lives is the first song that I was really like, holy shit, that's a good one.
Yeah. That's one of the best songs.
Yeah, it's because he's literally like he's masking his pain with all this booze, which really hits home.
Oh, yeah.
You and I weren't friends at this time, but my dad died in November of 2012, and for like legitimately a year and a half after, I was literally just drinking every day and heavy amounts.
Yeah.
Which is why drinking these 2 beers, it's not that bad comparatively to the rest of my life.
It's nothing.
Yeah. That's back when I was buying like fucking $10 bottles of whiskey and killing them in like a week.
Yeah. Not quicker.
If that,
Yeah. And I feel like as somebody who's never like gone through like that level of alcoholism, but people talk about this song as being like, no, this is what it's like. Like he's apparently like, they're like, yeah, this guy, like this dude gets it. Like when you listen to that, like you read these lyrics, you're like, yeah, this is a dude who's definitely gone through
this shit for real.
You know what I mean? You can see through people's bullshit when they've definitely writing about something they don't know.
Yeah.
And apparently like I have to take it for like your word. Like, do you think it seems like true? Like it rings like authentic?
Here, I'll give you a fucking line here. Yeah. So one thing that I realized, so whenever you're like deep in the throes of like alcoholism, kind of like he is in The Sharpest Lives, kind of like how the patient is, you really do like completely lose any aspect of self and self-worth. So it literally feels like you're going like crazy. Like you legitimately feel like you're insane. And so there's a line in here where he is pushing away his lover. And he says, so you can leave me like the sane abandoned me.
I love it.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
That line hits hard. Yeah. And that's in the, I think it's in the chorus?
In the bridge.
It's in the bridge?
Yeah.
I don't know all the musical terms.
Yeah.
Bridge, chorus,
it
outro.
doesn't matter. Yeah, who gives a shit? Yeah. It's a great line.
Yeah, so you can leave me like the sane abandoned me.
Yeah.
And then he also, in like another line.
Maybe it is the chorus.
I think it's the chorus.
Yeah, you're right.
He says it a lot.
Because he says, a lot. Yeah, he says, but sorry, continue.
But there's another line where he's like, so you can, because he's putting it on her.
Yeah.
He's like, the sane abandoned me. Like, sanity abandoned me. Like, it had nothing
not my fault.
It had nothing to do with my alcoholism and me saying fuck the world because I'm dying.
Yeah.
He's saying, you abandoned me just like my sanity did.
Mm-hmm.
But then he also shows that he knows what he's doing, because there's a line later that says, drop the dagger with the blood on your hands, Romeo.
Oh, I know. Yeah. What is it? Yeah. It's like, yeah. And then Juliet loves the something and the something.
It's like Juliet.
It's a really good turn of phrase, like those two.
Yeah,
bits.
it's let me pull it up.
Those
really
two,
quick.
yeah, those two in tandem. Like it's Juliet loves the something and the something.
It's Juliet loves like the cannibalistic.
Yeah, and you like bathe in the blood or something like that. Rub the blood on your hands, Romeo.
Juliet loves the beat and the lust it commands.
Yeah.
Drop the dagger and lather the blood on your hands, Romeo.
Fucking ugh.
Actually, here's the whole verse. Yeah. There's a place in the dark where the animals go. You can take off your skin in the cannibal glow. Juliet loves the beat and the lust it commands. Drop the dagger and lather the blood on your hands.
That song and Mama are probably my two favorite lyrical songs.
Mama's a good one too.
Mama, it's a
lot of the same lyric, but it's a great song.
Yeah. The Sharpest Lives also has probably my single favorite My Chem line, which is in the chorus. That whole chorus is. Well, actually, can you just read the chorus? It's because that turn of phrase throughout, like,
give me a shot to remember, and you can take all the pain away from me. Your kiss and I will surrender. The sharpest lives are the deadliest to leave.
And then a light to burn all the empires.
A light to burn all the empires. So bright the sun is ashamed to rise, and be in love with all these vampires. So you can leave like the saint abandoned me.
Yeah, you're right. That's just. It's just so like.
Well, it's so funny because he's also. It's give me a shot to remember. You can take away all the pain from me. So he knows that it's just like, because this whole song is like a walking contradiction where he's he loves partying, he loves drinking, he wants to fuck the whole world. He's saying like the sane abandoned me just like you're going to do.
Right.
But then he also says like your kiss is the only thing that will like bring me.
He literally goes,
your kiss and I'll surrender.
Right before
and then he calls her a light to burn all the empires, which is so bright the sun
is
the sun is ashamed to rise and be. But then the next line he says, "In love with all these vampires." So he's saying he's in love with all these vampires, all these shitty people that come out at night and just like suck the life out of you.
Because it's funny that he prefaces that chorus too with, "I've really been on a bender and it shows, but I'm just gonna blow her a kiss before she goes."
Yeah,
like that's fucking. Like,
dude,
yeah,
this album is fucking great.
I know it's the lyrics, especially when the music. The music's great. I'm sorry, the music's great.
The music's great, but it's like the first time I listened to just the music alone, because I did your little fucking three.
It works. It does make you really. Yeah,
it does work.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the first time listening through it, it's just like, oh, this is a cool album.
It's cool, yeah.
Yeah, and then going through all the lyrics, I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah. And then,
there's some deep, highbrow shit going on in this thing.
Well, when we get to Mama, I think Mama and Sleep are probably the two. Welcome to the Black Parade's next.
Next song is Welcome to the Black Parade.
Which is, if you know any song from this album, it's probably that song. Or Teenagers are probably the two that you would know.
Yeah.
But it's definitely
I had heard a couple of them. I had heard...
Definitely Famous Last Words.
Famous Last Words, Teenagers, Black Parade... I think Sharpest Lives?
I wouldn't be shocked if it was, Sharpest Lives or Lives. Mama's pretty famous.
Mama's a good one too.
Cancer, we'll get to that. People that know that song, it becomes their favorite My Chem song. But let's go to the Welcome Black Parade first.
So this one's kind of just like, at least in terms of story.
Yeah.
It's like God walking him through heaven.
Yes.
And being like, you're fucking up the people around you. Yep. Go back up there, or like go back out there to the world.
Yep.
Stop fucking around. Be a light to all these broken, beaten, and fucked up people, and bring them to the light.
Yes,
it's essentially what it is.
And that way, like you can carry on. Like it's like what he's saying. Like
and that's the beautiful part about all that too.
I know.
But there's also the double meaning that it's if he dies, all those other people are going to carry on.
Or no, I'm sorry, not, like he's like aren't doomed. I'm sorry. If he dies, they're not doomed.
If he dies, they're not doomed. But he could go back and live and save them
and
himself.
Do more for them. Yeah, exactly. I want to say too.
Dude, I can't even read my own handwriting.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
This song
Well,
is
I wrote it so fast because I was like,
scrolling as you're going?
Because I had to stop so many times,
Yeah.
like through each song,
Yeah.
and write, and I wanted to like listen to it like as one whole piece.
Yeah. Did you notice when you listen to that album, if you listen to other albums, like, and you pause, you don't really feel like you're interrupting. You're like, yeah, I can just hit play. But every time this is one of those albums where you hit pause, and you're like, I don't want to hit pause. Like, this is like interrupting their thing. Like,
I would hit pause and I rewind.
yeah, that's
Hit
what you
pause,
have
rewind
to do.
like 10 seconds.
Because it's not like other, like if I pause like songs I don't give a shit about, I'm like, it doesn't matter. But this, I feel like I had to like catch back up. Sorry, continue.
Oh, and then so the ending of this song I found very interesting.
Welcome to the Black Parade.
Oh yeah, Welcome to the Black Parade.
That's a big misconception about the band too. The album is called The Black Parade, but the song is called Welcome to the Black Parade. Yeah, which is funny that it occurs in track 5.
So the bridge, like in the outro, it's not, in my opinion, it's not The Patient at all. It's 100% Gerard Way.
There's no way.
Because it literally says, "Do or die, you'll never make me, because the world will never take my heart. Go and try, you'll never break me. We want it all. We want to play this part." Oh, sorry. Wrong bridge.
Yeah, that's the first one.
No, that was the last one
Oh, what's the first
that
one?
I was reading. The first one was so it's all that first part, the do or die, you'll never make me.
Yeah.
You'll never break me. We want it all. We want to play this part. I won't explain or say I'm sorry. I'm unashamed. I'm going to show my scars. Give a cheer for all the broken. Listen here, because it's who we are. I'm just a man. I'm not a hero. Just a boy who had to sing this song. I'm just a man. I'm not a hero. I don't care. Yeah. It's like 100% from him. But what I took from that is he's like we're all struggling with like this crazy, sometimes dark, dangerous, horrifying shit that's hurting other people.
Yeah.
But it's okay to show your scars. It's okay to be broken.
Yeah.
You're unashamed.
Yeah.
Like we're all fucking broken.
We are.
We're all beaten. We're all damned.
Yeah. And you're not
in our own way.
You're not a hero for being like, you need to show them, but you're not a hero because you did it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're also not a hero for being perfect.
He's basically saying like, you look at me like I'm some hero because I'm showing you my scars, but I'm not a hero.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care. Like, I'm a person.
It's from the lens of a very successful musician too.
Yeah. And
He's like,
especially
I'm not
in
a hero
that
to all
type
you
of
people.
music.
I'm just a guy.
Like he's also in that era of music where like, in that style where people were like, girls were like carving MCR into their leg and shit.
Yeah.
And you can tell he's probably like, stop. Like, that's not what I want you to do. Like,
It's very dangerous.
yeah. Well,
Very dangerous and like
it was that.
like psychologically very fucked up.
Yeah. And he's like,
Because you and I both cut. It's very fucked up.
Yeah. And it's very like, it's not what you should do. And you know, it was like that brief.
Hey guys, cutting's bad.
But I meant like, it was that time period where it was trendy to cut. There was a brief like couple years where it was trendy to cut and almost like suicide was like cool. Like, and he's basically saying, no, that's not the point of this. The point isn't to be like, yeah, bear your scars.
Look at how broken I am.
Yeah, and like, isn't that great? It's like, no, look how broke I am, and I'm trying to fix it. Like, this needs to be like something that
You carry on.
You carry on, exactly.
You're broken, you're fucked up, you carry on.
Yeah, exactly.
I wrote at the bottom of this page in very big letters, I just go, this song is so fucking dope.
Yeah. Dude, it's so good. It's a great also
song.
Like 2 songs, too.
And then the next song is I Don't Love You. Oh. And the first thing I wrote is just, holy shit, this one's sad.
Oh, yeah, dude, it's really sad.
Because I was also watching it. My girlfriend had just gotten home, and it's like my fucking soulmate, and so I'm.
Oh yeah,
and it's his soulmate, and he's fucked up, and he's pushing her away so much because it's so painful,
dude,
for her to see him this way. Yeah, he just wants to feel better about leaving.
Yeah.
Also, there is a guitar solo in this song.
Yes,
and it's a small part, and I can't picture. Or I can't place what it's from. Give me 1 second.
You think he's like echoing another song?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I think it's I have it either as a Queen or a Journey song.
Oh, it's probably Queen. I mean, Queen is clearly a huge influence on this album. Like, Welcome to the Black Parade. That whole first bit. That's all Queen. Like, influenced.
Here, it's coming up in a second. It's right here. Wait.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
It's
that like
We Are the Champions.
Yes. Fucking yes.
You're right. You're 100% right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
Or is that Bohemian Rhapsody?
It's Bohemian Rhapsody.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know.
One of the two.
I couldn't place
You're
it.
right. You're 100% right.
Okay.
Yeah. And that feels like on purpose, too.
Yeah, for sure it feels on purpose.
Yeah. Ray Toro is a very good guitar player.
I said it was the guitar player for. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Everybody's got weird names. Ray Toro,
Frank Iero, Bob Breyer. On this album, Gerard Way and Mikey Way.
Yes, that's all I have for "I Don't Love You." It's just a very, very sad song.
Very sad.
Especially after like the rallying cry of like "We'll carry on" of Black Parade, and then it's just like, just 2 steps back.
But I love that. Like you're dying. Like you're going through this like range of emotions, and there's no stopping it. Like it's not like it's just like immediate ebbs and immediate flow. Like you're just like high, low, so fast. Because it's funny too, because you hear that song. I remember listening to this album the first time, like, man, that's sad. I don't think it could get sadder. You hit one more song, but then you get to a song that is considerably worse, like sad wise, which is Cancer.
Yeah. Yeah, it is kind of weird, especially if you've had somebody in your life that's gone through like crazy like sickness.
Yeah.
Because it's so it's like it starts off and everything's kind of like just like a long sad period where it's like the initial fight.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, done. And then it's like high and everything's just high. But then it's just like diagnosis again, immediately super low.
So much lower. Yeah.
And then it's that fucking immediate up and down from those like different diagnoses.
Yep.
Diagnoses. House of Wolves. So I wrote that it feels like a British like punk rock song.
Yeah, I think so.
It's like that thumping, just like ba 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 ba. Like it's that kind of
bad. Yeah, and
it's how he sings it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really know like Iggy Pop's music, but it feels like it would be an Iggy. Like like that kind of song feels like what I would picture an Iggy Pop song.
Yeah, very Iggy Pop, very like Sex Pistols, The Clash, some Ramones. Like it feels like very.
So that is correct.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm not a big music guy.
No, but you're spot on.
Oh yeah, so this is the one where the patient like knows he's a sinner and he's gonna end up in hell, and he's admitting that he he needs to be there.
Yep.
Like he's been such a piece of shit throughout his entire life. Or maybe not throughout his entire life,
right?
But for a specific portion of his life, he was a real cunt.
Because what does he say? Like, first he says, tell me I'm a bad man. Tell me I'm an angel.
Oh, it's like, tell me I'm an angel and set me free.
Or take me like a stray, he says at one point. Tell me I'm an angel. Take this to your grave, I think.
God damn it, dude! This album is fucking great.
It's really good. Like songwriting.
Yeah, tell me I'm an angel. Take this to your grave. Tell me I'm a bad man. Kick me like a stray.
And then,
but then the ending, like his conclusion is just tell me I'm a bad man.
I love that.
It just says that like 20 times.
Bad.
So get up, so get out, man. SIN.
Oh, I love that.
SIN. Yeah, when he spells sin.
SIN. Yeah.
Yes.
Did you catch that bit too? He's saying because of the way the beat works, he says SIN. Like sin. I sin. Dude, that's so.
Yeah, it's cool.
That's fucking cool,
it's cool.
man.
Yeah. That song's like a weird, like emotional catharsis.
It really, it's like you're clearing yourself from I don't love you, but then you go.
Dude, it's like you're it's like you're Robin Williamsing yourself.
You are
hunting.
It's like tell me I'm a bad man. Yeah. Like,
tell me I'm an angel, and then it's like tell me I'm a bad man. Tell me I'm a bad man. Tell me I'm a bad man.
Yeah, dude, it's so ISIN.
Yeah.
I think that's really clever, man. I don't know why I've always thought that bit was so cool. Like the way they structure the beat and the way that he comes in with spelling sin, you have to use another 3 letters doesn't work. So you have to add another letter. So he adds I sin. Like I
sin.
Yeah. But you don't even catch it. You're just thinking he's spelling sin like front and back again. But he's just, anyway, sorry.
Then we get on to just a real fun one.
Cancer.
We have Cancer.
Yeah.
It's a real fucking blast if you've dealt with it in your life.
Those lyrics are.
Oh fuck!
That line. That might also be my favorite line. Baby, I'm just soggy from the chemo.
I'm shaking my head currently.
Yeah,
I don't like it.
You don't like chemo? You don't like Cancer?
No, I don't.
The song,
Because for 6 months when I was living with my dad, I drove him to his cancer treatments every day.
I mean, you don't like that line, but the song is. It's still a good song.
It's a good line.
It's a really good. Well, I meant the song.
All the albums are very well written.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I just keep hitting on the bits I love.
Yeah.
Cancer
all my
is-
hairs abandoned, all my body. Oh, my agony. Know that I will never marry. That was a sad one too.
I know.
Oh, my agony. Know that I will never marry. Baby, I'm just soggy from the chemo, but counting down the days to go. It just ain't living, and I just hope you know.
That if you say goodbye today.
Let's moment of silence for that fucking line.
Fuck, dude. What is it? And if you say goodbye, you should just read Cancer really quick. It's not that many lyrics.
Oh, it's not.
It's only like a minute and a half.
Yeah, so I'll read this. Turn away. If you could get me a drink of water because my lips are chapped and faded. Call my Aunt Mary. Help her gather all my things and bury me in all my favorite colors. My sisters and my brothers. Still, I will not kiss you because the hardest part of this is leaving you. Now turn away because I'm awful just to see because all my hair is abandoned, all my body. Oh, my agony. Know that I will never marry. Baby, I'm just soggy from the chemo, but counting down the days to go. It just ain't living, and I just hope you know that if you say goodbye today, I'd ask you to be true, because the hardest part of this is leaving you. Because the hardest part of this is leaving you.
Fucking hell, man.
God,
holy fucking shit.
Damn it.
Oh my God, dude, I can't.
Oh boy.
I love that bit where he's like, if you're going to say goodbye, I ask that it's the last time. Because the hardest part already is leaving you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Jesus Christ. Musically, kind of reminded me of the Beatles. It's a little late Beatles.
Yeah.
Just it's late Beatles. Is it Blackbird that it's kind of like? No, not Blackbird. Is it Lucy in the Sky?
Kind of like Yesterday a little bit.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
Something seems
all
so
my troubles seem so far away. Yeah. Dude,
it's like that kind of rhythm to it and that musical tone at least.
Yeah. And
in terms of a subject, though, probably the saddest song of all time.
One of the saddest songs I know. Yeah.
Jesus Christ!
But it's also another very authentic. Their grandma was one of the people that helped raise them. Their parents did, but their grandma lived with them, and their grandma died of cancer. That's
cool. I don't write fucking dead dad poetry. That's like a Sylvia Plath poem.
But it's obviously their outlet, you know?
Yeah.
So there's a line in the Black Parade where they mention her a lot throughout different stuff. Like the Black Parade, he says sometimes I get the feeling she's watching over me.
She has a character. They have a character that's based on her called Helena.
That song. Yeah. You know that song, So Long and Good Night? No. You've probably heard that song.
Probably.
Yeah. Anyways, that song is about her.
All the big ones I've heard.
Yeah. They have quite a few. So then you get to
you get to Mama.
That's probably my
Mama's
favorite
a fun
song of all
one.
time.
Mama is have you seen True Blood?
No.
So True Blood,
I've seen a couple episodes.
Jace Everett. So it's Bad Things.
Yeah.
The song's like da-dum, 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 da-dum. It's that kind of Cajun-y Louisiana,
but with a bit of Russian waltz to it too. That doom dit doom dit doom dit.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
I didn't even catch
Mama,
that.
We all go to hell. It's like
oh yeah, it still felt very Cajun to me. It felt like a True Blood.
It's like a combination of bluesy Cajun
and Russian polka?
waltz. Yeah, polka almost. Yeah.
Yeah. It's also a little True Detective-y. True Detective season 1-y.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that. It's like that weird Louisiana dark vibe.
And lyrically, it's
hilarious,
dude. You think it's funny?
I thought it was funny.
I think it is.
Mama, we all go to hell,
dude. But it's also pretty dark. Some of that bits where she goes, what does he say? And when we go, don't, because it's basically about dude. I have to look at all these lyrics, and I listened to this album twice today. Yeah,
you're just getting all these from the top of your fucking head,
dude. I just fucking love this song, this album. I mean, he does that bit where he's talking about basically it's basically him telling his this character. It's clearly Gerard, I think.
Yeah,
telling people that said they can't make it, kind of a thing. You're not going to make it in pretty much any way, but using that crux of the chorus. He's like, "Mama, we all go to hell. I'm writing a letter telling you about it." And basically in the chorus he says, "And when we go, don't blame us. We'll just let the fire bathe us, like the fire, throwing yourself into the fire." But then she says, "And when you go, do not return my love." And then the second chorus, or the second verse, he talks about how I'm not what you wanted. You should have raised a baby girl. I could have been a better son. And then again, it's that chorus. And then he goes, the second part is, she said, "You ain't no son of mine." Like,
oh yeah.
And what does it say right after that? You ain't no son of mine.
For what you've done, they're gonna find a place for you and just your mind, your manners. When you go, and when you go, don't return to me, my love. Basically, but I mean, it's told from the story of the patient as being a soldier, like in a war. That's how it's told. That's
yeah. Sorry, yeah, it's caged that way. Like,
yeah, that's how it's put through.
But it's such a good fucking song. And did you catch that Liza Minnelli bit?
Yeah. I saw it. Yeah, so she's at the very end.
Yeah, and if you would,
she goes, and if you would call me a sweetheart, I'd maybe sing you a song.
But then what does he say after that? But the shit that I've done with this fuck of a gun or something like that.
Yeah, but the shit that I've done with this fuck of a gun, you would cry out your eyes all along. I like it at the end though. So it's like
we're dead after all.
Well, like even after all this, he's like I've done all this fucked up stuff. Like he's even telling his mom, like, we're all going to hell. Everything's fucked. We're all gonna die.
We're all
like,
full of lies.
We're all full of lies.
Meant for the flies.
Yeah, we're meant for the flies. But then at the end.
Yeah.
At the end of that song, he does the battle cry. Mm-hmm. He does like a fucking Spartan battle cry.
Cool, dude.
So raise your glass high, for tomorrow we die, and return from the ashes you call. Ha!
I love it. So raise your glass.
Shivers.
Dude, it's cool, man.
Yeah. Dude, this album is fucking crazy good.
Yeah, I know. And
it's very, very good. And if you haven't listened to it in a while, give it a listen. It's like 50 minutes, I think.
Probably, yeah.
Around there.
But it feels, no song feels like it drags. I don't feel like any of the songs feel. The only song that people have said, and I can kind of see it, is Disenchanted.
Oh. Yeah, I didn't fucking like that one that much.
Really? Yeah, I get that. It feels.
I also didn't like Teenagers. I like the song. I don't think it fits in the album.
No, but it's just such a good song. It's
a great song.
Me. Yeah,
but it doesn't fit in the album.
Is that next?
Yeah, it's the next song.
Yeah, Sleep. It's Sleep.
It is Sleep. I lied.
It's okay. And Sleep's one of my other favorite songs by them.
Yeah. So Sleep is the song where it starts off with the recordings from the Paramore mansion, or is it Paramore Hotel?
It's a recording studio, but it's in a mansion, I think.
Yeah, it's one of the two.
Yeah.
Oh wait, is that where they went to in Bohemian Rhapsody?
Yeah, they recorded the Paramore.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that fucking shitty ass movie, Bohemian Rhapsody, garbage,
Oscar award-winning shit,
garbage film.
Yeah.
Rami Malek, great actor, fucking terrible.
Yeah. So many edits.
Ugh. Awful.
Sleep.
Yeah. So this one's a weird one too, because the character of the patient, he admits that he's done nothing wrong.
Yeah.
But then later he also is like, but I've been good, I've been bad, and I've also been like a monster at times.
He's like, but just sleep is what he keeps coming back to.
Yeah.
Until, did you catch that bit? I don't know if it's in the lyrics, but he's screaming, wake up, like through
to the very end,
through the like massive wall of sound.
Yeah. It's at the very end where he's just like yelling, wake up.
It's really cool.
It just goes like sleep, 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 and there's like a bunch of shit.
And there's a guitar solo, massive, in the background. I love that, dude. I think this
album is so fucking dark.
It's such an interesting examination.
And the outro is just him saying, "I can't ever wake up."
I know. Because because he's saying, "And just sleep."
The hardest part is letting go of your dreams. Yeah. Dude, he's a very, very good writer.
He's really, really good.
I mean, I haven't read any of his comics, but he's doing Umbrella Academy, which, I mean, clearly very good. It got picked up for a Netflix show.
Yeah, picked up for season 2 today, or yesterday maybe.
Ooh,
reading
that's exciting.
2. Yeah.
I love that first season.
Yeah, it's great. And he's doing, he writes Doom Patrol.
Okay.
Which is really, it's very weird. It's very like out there. Like it's kind of like what the X-Men should have been. Like the X-Men are supposed to be these outcasts who nobody understands, but then it got too big and too weird and like in a bad way.
Is it like the movies where they're all famous?
No, yeah, exactly. No. Doom Patrol is where like
Johnny Storm is a sex symbol and girls are like, I want to suck your fire dick.
That's Fantastic Four.
What did I say?
I said X-Men.
Oh shit!
Yeah, no, that's okay. Fantastic Four. It doesn't matter. Doom Patrol's cool. Doom Patrol's really good. I would suggest reading Grant Morrison's Doom Patrol.
Okay,
it's
Grant Morrison, author of Arkham Asylum.
Yes.
Learning.
You are. Yeah. And so Gerard's writing the current version of Doom Patrol, and he has like his own imprint at DC now called Young Animal, where they have like multiple books that come out under his imprint.
Yeah, I forgot that's a thing. Where there's like these tiny like little branches of these bigger things that specific
DC
artists
has
work
like
on.
Vertigo, and they have Young Animal. Young Animal has some really cool books. Like they have a book called Mother Panic, who's like this weird. It's one that Gerard Way co-created. Mother Panic, the character.
Is it a mom with Munchausen's by proxy?
No, I forget. Like I literally say she's cool, and then I can't remember anything about her.
I got a lot more than you gave me.
Munchausen by proxy, Mother Panic. Yeah, should it be anxiety by proxy? Panic. Or it's Mother Panic, and it's just Brendan Urie's mom from Panic at the Disco. She just keeps going, and I chimed in with, "Haven't you people ever heard of?" And he's like, "That's a good line."
It's the whole story of the band on tour. They have a tour mom, and it's the mom that's backstage making sure they all have sandwiches and waters.
She just walks in, she's like, "Oh, well, imagine." Like she's just saying, like all the words for every song is just him copying his mom. "Haven't you people ever heard of?" And he's like,
"Thank you, good night.
Yeah.
I got you guys ice cream sandwiches.
Yeah, okay. Haven't you people heard of closing the goddamn door? And she doesn't even know.
We're gonna bring out our closer,
Trish Panic. Her last name's Panic. I actually know people with the last name Panic.
For real?
Yeah, John and Wanda.
Oh, Wanda Panic is a human being.
Wanda and Rhonda. They're twins. Her married name is Panic, but yeah, they're twins, Rhonda and Wanda.
Their parents are dickheads.
Yeah, they are.
Wanda and Rhonda.
Yeah.
Ugh. I'm surprised they weren't the fucking Menendez sisters.
Yeah. What they do?
They killed their parents.
Yeah, they did. Oh yeah. So what was I gonna, oh yeah. So yeah, we were saying Gerard is just like he's an incredible writer.
Yeah, absolutely great writer.
There have been multiple offers to him throughout the years to make this into a musical or to make it into a movie, and he's just kind of been like, I haven't found the right way to do that.
Who would direct that movie?
Oh,
Tim Burton.
Yeah, but it'd be so bad. Who's current dark that can really do it?
I mean, the obvious answer for current dark is Jordan Peele.
He wouldn't do it though.
Well, because there's also like David Lynch.
I don't think he could do it the right way though.
You don't think so?
He's too abstract.
Dude, this is pretty fucking abstract.
No, it is, but I think it needs to be. Yeah, he might be able to do it. He's always our go-to for like anything that's just.
I think it's weird.
It's just left of center. It's David Lynch.
Tim Burton, David Lynch.
But Tim Burton, like old Tim Burton, could really done. Like Edward Scissorhands Tim Burton could have really done it.
Yeah,
but now he's just so shitty.
He's terrible. He just does big Hollywood Disney movies.
He just makes flops for a living.
Yeah,
and not the flops on your feet.
Well, he makes $150 million movies that get like 400. Jesus Christ,
yeah, 400 million. Yeah, like they come out a little ahead enough to make him still worth hiring.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know who would direct it. There's got to. I feel like there's somebody.
Maybe Gerard could direct it.
James Wan. Gerard could direct it.
James Wan could probably do it.
James Wan could probably do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's got that dark.
All the Saws, all the Conjurings.
Yeah.
Annabelle.
Yeah.
He did that whole universe, didn't he?
Yeah, it's like and now he kind of oversees it.
It's the most successful horror universe probably ever, right?
Paranormal Activity might be. Those movies made a lot of money.
Yeah, and were made for nothing.
Yeah, I was going to say profitability wise, they're number one. It's not close. Blair Witch is probably second because they were made for nothing too.
Blair Witch is actually way more profitable.
But there's way more Paranormal Activities. There's only 2 Blair Witches. I think 3. 2.
I think 2
or 3.
But that first one though, one was like made for like $10,000.
I think the first Paranormal Activity is like 35. Yeah.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, and it made like $100-something million.
Oh fuck! I wish this was like a radio show. We had cough buttons.
Yeah,
because I would have just pressed that immediately. Yeah. I couldn't get the mic.
You literally
from my mouth fast enough.
Yeah, you just like threw your arm away. So wait, let's go back to what song were we on? Sleep.
We were on Sleep.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, we were pretty much done with it.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move on to.
Let's move on to Teenagers. The one song that doesn't fit at all in this album.
It doesn't fit, but also
it doesn't even make sense in relation to the album.
The only thing I can think of is it's maybe him thinking back to like when he was a teenager and now his current thoughts on teenagers.
No, because that's what Disenchanted is.
Yeah, I know.
Disenchanted is him reminiscing about being a teenager.
I know.
And how it relates to him now.
But
Teenagers is literally just him saying that like all teenagers are shitty.
Well, he's not saying that though.
Well,
he's saying the opposite. He's saying it's not their fault.
Well, he's saying
also saying that teenagers should go kill people.
He's saying that everybody older
doesn't get
has
you.
this weird fear against teenagers.
Yeah.
Because they think teenagers have like some weird power because they don't understand them.
Yeah, and they're like dark and scary,
Yeah.
which they are.
But it's
They're
just,
angsty as fuck. I love that song outside of like the album, but you're right.
I literally wrote, love the song, but complete tonal and content shift from the rest of the
It
album.
is, yeah, it is. Especially because if you take that out,
Yeah, and then I wrote, are we seriously supposed to believe this is told from the point of view of the patient?
that's the one thing that I think if you're gonna think about it from that perspective, it has to be him being like, teenagers scare the shit out of me now, and then he goes on to reminisce about being like, it's kind of like an old person.
I guess, yeah.
Like an old person
makes
being like,
sense.
God, they're so scary, but I do remember my days. That's the way it works for me. That's
God
the way I've
damn it.
always couched it.
That's that argument that's like, if you can fix a problem with a Post-it note, isn't that the thing?
Yeah.
That just fixed that for me.
Yeah.
And I was like, a guy reminiscing, I was like, but yeah, he talks about as an old man.
Yeah. So that's what I'm thinking. It's the only way.
I literally think
It
he
does
just wrote
feel-
a really good song.
I
he's
do
like,
too.
He's like, I have to put this in there.
And he did place it in the right spot though.
Oh yeah, he for sure did.
Yeah. Because it comes out of
If you put it after Disenchanted, it wouldn't make any sense.
no.
If he was reminiscing about how much fun it was being a kid and how it was like all harmless
And
and,
then, well-
fun, but then he just says teenager scared the shit out of me.
Right.
It's like but you just said that you were a kid. And
So it has to be like they
fine.
scare the shit out of me. But he's also saying that like they also like it's obviously tongue in cheek being like, like so like darken your clothes and strike a violent pose. Like he's saying like they don't get you.
Yeah, he's like,
And they never
he's
will.
telling it like they scare the shit out of him. I think because they have so much power, but he's also saying like he's also teaching the teenager
right.
to do that stuff to have even more power over it.
It's like this is like a really extreme version, but it's like if you ever got like somebody who's super racist to open up about why they're actually racist. And you know what I mean? He's saying like, they scare the shit out of me, but it's because like, he's like, he's like, this is what I really think. It's because they're not going to rest until somebody bleeds. He's like, so just darken your clothes and strike a violent pose. Like maybe they'll leave you alone, but not me. Like you scare the shit out of me. And it's for really dumb reasons. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Cause he's basically telling you like, they're going to medicate you until you're doing what they want you to do. And he's like, this is the reason why.
Until you're a normal member of society.
Right. And he's like, I'm old, so I know why. But that's always been my, because when I heard the album, I remember being like, the song is amazing, but it doesn't actually fit. What?
So I was already moving forward slightly to Disenchanted.
Yeah, go ahead, Disenchanted.
No, the look on my face was I was trying to read one of the lyrics,
Yeah.
and I didn't know what like 5 words were.
Oh boy, okay.
So I was literally looking just at my paper like, oh, you fucking idiot.
What was the lyric?
Why have to fucking find it?
Yeah, Disenchanted, basically, while you're finding it, it's basically, it's this song where he's talking about like
Oh,
what it was
Jesus.
like to be young and like growing up sort of. And like, he couches it sort of as like almost like a magician, like a musician, like the roar of the crowd and all that kind of stuff that gave me, what is it, like Heartache to Sing or something like that?
Is
The
that
first
in-
line, right? One of the first lines. It was the roar of the crowd that gave me.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, it's definitely
Oh,
Disenchanted. Yeah.
it's the second one.
Oh, yeah.
It was the roar of the crowd that gave me a heartache to sing. It was a lie when they smiled and said, "You won't feel a thing." As we ran from the cops, we laughed so hard it would sting.
See,
It's not really a good line.
what?
I'm not a fan of that line.
Of the roar of the crowd thing? No. I'm saying like that. I'm
Didn't
using
do
that as
anything
an
for me.
example of like couching it through the eyes of like a musician.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. What's the line that you liked?
It's the chorus.
Oh yeah, go ahead. It's so good.
You're just a sad song with nothing to stay about a lifelong wait for a hospital stay. Oh boy.
Sad song with nothing to say.
What did I say?
Stay.
Oh, I said stay twice?
Yeah.
What a fucking idiot.
You're a sad song with nothing to
with
say.
nothing to say
for a lifelong wait for a
Yeah.
hospital stay.
about a lifelong wait.
Sorry,
for
but
us.
yeah, about a hospital, like, which is such a fucking
Well, it just shows like the trivial nature. Because at this point in the patient's life, he's reminiscing about when he was young.
I see what you're saying. Yeah,
And he's saying like, you're not going to do shit. You're not going to say anything meaningful. You're just living your life aimlessly until you sit in a hospital bed, wither away, and die.
that's it. Yeah, you're right. And it's like
It is also like kind of true.
I was gonna say
Who really says anything?
No, nobody does, and also he's nobody gives a shit either. You know what I mean? Like
nobody says like anything like original.
No, that's the one thing.
Which is why we have like crazy good artists that we all listen to because they are those people in society that are saying something that's original.
That's what the one thing that no matter what, whether you like this album or not, this album is very. I don't think there's another album like this, like that I know of, like and.
No,
I can't. They're very like.
I also don't know music as well.
Yeah, but at the same time, like.
But if you can't think of something, I definitely can't think of.
Can you think of another band that's really like them, especially this album? Older My Chem, you can definitely lump them in a little easier. This album feels very like arena rock meets like emo pop punk,
but also meets like very high level storytelling.
Yeah, there's like a narrative there.
Well, there's a narrative. There's also like deep metaphor and
because their next album after this was their last one, which is Danger Days, and it's like,
is it bad?
No, it's not bad. It's just it's very different. They went like it's like a much more like rock and roll and a bit like almost like a little poppier, but there's a very hardcore story to the point where he wrote a comic that accompanies the album.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Called the Fabulous Lives of the Dangerous Lives of the Fabulous Killjoys.
Well, yes, because I went through like just lists of concept albums,
and there's one on there,
and My Chem has like 4 of them.
Well, all 4 of their albums, they've only done 4, and all 4 are concept albums.
It might have been 3.
No, all 4 are concept albums.
All 4 concepts?
Because the first 2 tell a story over 2 albums. It's I Brought You My Bullets, You Brought Me Your Love, and then 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge.
I think it was 3 bullets, but it was probably those 2 in connection with each other.
Yeah, because the first album is really cool. Those first 2 albums tell a story about a guy whose the love of his life dies, and he's confronted by death, basically. And he's basically like just like he's becomes like a hired gun for death. I wonder if Gerard is interested by the concept of death.
Of death and loved ones dying.
Because it's funny, the band breaks up right after they release the last video for Danger Days, in which all of them die.
I thought you were going to say the band breaks up right after Gerard Way was sent to prison for murdering his wife.
He murdered everyone he knew. He murdered little Frank Iero.
Ray Toro!
Not Ray Toro. No, Ray Toro's too tall.
Is he?
Yeah.
He's a big guy.
He's a big dude. Yeah.
Okay, and then Famous Last Words.
Yes.
Great fucking song.
Great. Dude, that's such a fucking rockin' song.
Besides, it's either this song or Black Parade that's the best song on the album.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
This songs are really
For me, it's probably Sharpest Lives or Mama.
Sharpest Lives or Mama?
Mama's just such a fucking.
That's a fun one.
Sharpest Lives. But sorry, yeah, Famous Last Words.
This one's also a fun one, like just like thematically, just that it is that perfect melding of actually Gerard and the story.
Yeah.
And both of them are completely clear.
Yes.
Like it's like literally like a verse of Gerard, a verse of the patient, a verse of Gerard, a verse of the patient.
Yep. 100%.
Basically, we find out the end of the story for the patient. And the ending to that is he's still laying in his deathbed. And he's kind of in a haze, like an unconscious haze.
Yeah.
And his former lover comes to his bed and he finally sheds all that resentment, sheds all that hate, and just tells her one last time that he loves her.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really find out if he lives or dies. I mean, you assume that he dies.
Yeah.
But you don't really know if that encounter actually happens and if it's not like your fucking DMT brain at the end.
And that's because that chorus is what makes me think it's DMT.
Yeah, I think
he's saying he's not afraid to keep living. He's not afraid to walk the earth alone. Honey, if you stay, you'll be forgiven. Nothing you can say can stop me going home.
How the fuck do you know all of that?
I just love that album.
Yeah, I'm not afraid to keep living. I'm not afraid to walk this world alone. Honey, if you stay, I'll be forgiven. Nothing you can stay can stop me from going home.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Well, because it starts with, no, I know that I can't make you stay. What is it? No, I know. I can't make you stay.
Now I know that I can't make you stay, but where's your heart? Where's your heart?
Yeah. Because he's saying...
I like the ending. I like the bridge at the end.
Yeah,
I see you lying next to me with words I thought I'd never speak.
Yep.
So that's when you're like...
She's there.
She's there, but he's also like...
Awake and unafraid.
Well, because there's this entire time he's talking about how much he hates her for leaving, even though he loves her, and that's why he pushes her away.
Wait.
It's almost like he pushes her away in the beginning of this album. Like he pushes her away because he doesn't want her to see him go through all this, and then he resents her for actually leaving because he pushed her away. He's being a real cock.
He is.
Yeah, he's a real whiny bitch.
What's that last line? It's like, I see you lying next to me. What's that last line?
I see. Awake and unafraid, asleep or dead.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
I kind of wonder.
I think it's DMT.
It has to be. Or is it her talking?
I don't think it is.
I don't think so either. But then I was thinking about it like.
Awake and unafraid, asleep or dead.
Because she also says, like, I'm not afraid.
Maybe she's awake and unafraid and he's asleep and dead.
Because I'm also thinking, like, I'm not afraid to walk this earth alone. Honey, if you stay, you'll be forgiven. Nothing you can say can stop me going home. Like,
yeah, she's just going to like. she's going to go through all this emotional shit and just hop in the.
Yeah.
I'm hop in a Honda Civic and drive home.
She's got her Prius.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's going to rest easy knowing that cunt's dead.
Well, wait, did you listen to Blood? That's not the last song.
Isn't that the hidden track?
Yeah, it's
I listened to it. I don't think I didn't take notes on it.
I wouldn't worry about it. It's
I don't remember it.
it's just like a interesting little bit at the end where
Yeah,
it's
you
like
tell me about that one.
about Blood.
Yeah, tell me about it.
It's basically just like a minute long, and it's basically just like a little it's a character bit. It feels like it's written from it's that same voice that he does when he's doing that, like, an Am I Honest observation during this operation, like in Dead, where it's the doctor's voice. I think it's because he's talking about blood, buckets of the stuff. Like, he's just like talking about like basically like he kind of is making a thing of like, maybe he's not really sick, and like maybe it's not his fault. Like maybe the hospital's keeping him there. Like maybe the hospital's making him sick. It's kind of what I got out of it. Like,
whoa.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's an old M. Night Shyamalan-y twist.
Well, he's kind of just, and it's the hidden track, so you're like, you wouldn't know it.
That would be really, dude, this could be a dope movie.
Right?
Holy
Yeah,
shit.
I know.
Because that would be a great twist.
Yeah. So this whole
Like
time
you just see him and he's brain dead, and they're like, he's just getting like a lethal injection.
because the way
like a
it's the way it's saying, it's like
testing
blood, buckets of, like, he's just playfully like, well, this guy's dead, got another one.
Dude, this could be really cool.
It could be really cool. It would
get a lot. I think a lot of no, a lot of people wouldn't see it.
well, if you market it the right way, people.
I think you'd probably sell 3 million movie tickets.
I don't know in that perspective. I'm not tickets, but dude, everybody knows the Black Parade,
It would get watched, yeah.
especially if you put like names
But it's
in
also,
it and
but it's
shit.
a weird niche one.
The Black Parade,
It's a dark, sad,
emo concept
cancer,
album.
emo musical
Yeah.
mixed with M. Night Shyamalan at the end.
I wonder if it would be a musical. Could you do the songs?
I don't know. Is it
I
going to be
really don't
shitty?
know.
Where actually, it wouldn't be shitty if like Gerard Way produced it,
It would
like how Brian May and that
because he did all the
band.
that famous cover with like the little dancing man on the front of the Black Parade. That little his name's Pepe. The little dude on
one
the
that
front
kind of looks
cover.
like Sergeant Pepper's.
Yeah, well, yeah, they look like Sergeant Pepper's if you watch them. He does all the artwork. He did all the artwork for Three Cheers for Sweet Revenge too, because he worked for Cartoon Network for a while.
Who did?
Do you know their whole little thing?
No.
Have I told you? Oh, it's very interesting. So he went to SVA, which is School of Visual Arts. It's a very famous like art school in New York. And he graduated and worked for DC for a while, and just like as an intern, basically perpetually. Then he went to Cartoon Network, and he had a show called The Breakfast Monkey that he was pitching to them, like a good cartoon type of thing.
Okay.
And they bought the pitch for it. They were going to make it, and then it fell through. It was before it fell through. He was on a ferry from Staten Island, I think, maybe, to New York, and he watched the towers fall on 9/11.
Jesus
And then he
Christ.
made the band, and a week later, they'd written their first song. Their band was made in response to 9/11 because his first thought was, "This world is so dark."
Sorry, what band is this? Is Mike Ham?
Yeah, yeah, Mike M. And he was what?
I don't know. I just thought that was so stupid and funny.
What's saying that?
Just asking what band this
What band was that? Was that Nirvana? Kurt Cobain was dead already. Sorry, that's so sad. But isn't that weird?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Who are you apologizing to? Fucking Courtney Love or what's her daughter's name?
I forgot their
Bean?
name. Yeah, Bean.
Bean Cobain.
Something Bean. Yeah. No, isn't that's
Francis
weird, though.
Bean.
He
Francis
watched
Bean
the towers
Cobain.
fall and then made the band like in response to 9/11.
Oh, band name should have been.
Oh, dude, they have a killer band name. If you think about it from
My
a band
Chemical
name,
Romance is a pretty great name.
it's from an Irvine Welsh book. You know Irvine Welsh?
No.
He wrote.
Nobody that's listening to this knows Irvine Welsh.
I bet they do. He wrote. What's the famous Danny Boyle movie where he swims in shit?
What?
Ewan
What are you-
McGregor.
what
Train
words-
Spotting. Train Spotting.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Yeah, and apparently
very-
on the back of the book they
fairly
said that
big movie.
it said that he writes chemical romances, and Mikey was like, "Oh, My Chemical Romance." Like,
Oh,
yeah, that's a pretty good band name.
okay.
But was like I was. So what? Okay, overall, what do you give it out of 10? That album,
9.8.
9.8.
Yeah.
What do you give? What's the minus the 2?
I don't know. It's not.
It's not 10. 'Cause
perfection.
a 10 would be the perfection. Yeah. I don't. Yeah, I'd probably give it.
I wouldn't. I don't think I'd give anything a 10.
Really?
No, I wouldn't even get Born a 10. I'd probably give it the same thing, a 9.8.
So what? Well, because then you have nothing to compare it to. You have no 10.
No, there's no 10s.
There's no perfect album.
No,
Because I don't think it.
There's no way
for
there's a perfect
You're right.
album.
It probably is like a 9.9. Like
Yeah.
it's just that
fucking teenagers.
that's the only problem
Yeah.
with it. But even then, you can make the argument that it does make sense.
You can, but that immediate change because it goes from
tone-wise,
like
too.
super darkness to just
Like fun
read
rock.
all your books.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it just doesn't fit.
Yeah.
I mean, you can make the argument that if it's like story wise, it doesn't make sense like musically, it doesn't make sense tonally.
Yeah, you're right.
It's such a big shift.
Yeah, and it's such a good song on its own.
Yeah, it's a great song.
Should have just been like a single.
Yeah,
on
should've
its
been a
own.
single.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah,
still
and it's
9.8
and
is
it's a
still,
fun song because that song would have been super popular as a single too.
It was. I mean, it's one of their most. It's on.
Well, because like it makes like teenagers feel like fucking badass too. Teenagers scare the living shit.
Dude, I love that
out
song.
of me.
You didn't know that song before? Or you
I
didn't know it?
did.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you
Songs
go in
that
there,
I've heard are like Black Parade, Teenagers, Famous Last Words, probably Sharpest. What is it fucking called?
oh, from this album, you mean?
Yeah.
Because do you know, like, I'm Not Okay, you probably
Yeah, I know
know
that
for
song
sure. Helena, you probably know.
I think I do know that
Ghost
song.
of You, you probably know.
I know Ghost of You.
Ghost of You is one where it's like, never coming home,
Yeah.
never. And then from Danger Days, you probably know Nana. Like, it's like, na,
Is it
na,
the one
na,
that goes,
na,
hey,
na,
hey,
na.
goodbye?
No. You know that song? Na, 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 na,
think so.
na, na, na.
I always confuse My Chem with the White Stripes.
A lot of people do.
Yeah.
I think it's because old
Jack White-
Gerard and
Jack White and Dry Way
they
look the
look
same.
similar to
Yeah.
the old versions of. Because Gerard Way in this album has bleach blonde hair.
Yes, he
Short
does.
bleach blonde hair.
Yeah, but when he has long black hair,
like from
they look
the
very
I'm Not
similar
Okay
to Jack
era.
White.
Yeah, like 3 Cheers era.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's so yeah. It's one of the best albums I know. Like, and I think also My Chem became for some reason, and you can back this up from that era. My Chem became one of those bands that was like a poster children from like what's bad about like that style of music for some reason. But I feel like a lot of people were like, oh,
Just because it's the biggest, they're the biggest band, yeah.
But if you showed people this album and didn't tell them it was this, like who they were, I've done that to people before, and they're like, "That's incredible. Who's it?" And I was like, "It's My Chemical Romance." And I'm like, "Oh fuck." Like,
yeah, I think maybe people think the same way about like Panic at the Disco in a weird way
100%,
too. Yeah.
But I don't think
But that
Panic
first
can
Panic-
hang out with.
No, they can't.
Yeah.
But that first Panic album is pretty goddamn good.
Oh, I Write Sins Not Tragedies. Isn't that the name
It's
of
a
the
great
album?
album. Yeah.
Or no, is it The Most Fun a Girl Can Have Without Taking Off Her Clothes? Or is that a song?
That's the actual one. Oh no, that is a song.
What is I don't remember what the album's called.
Yeah.
Is a Fever You Can't Sweat Out?
I don't know. All of these sound like the right thing. It might be A Fever You Can't Sweat Out. Who the fuck knows though?
I don't know.
Yeah, but I had that album when I was a kid and I fucking loved it.
Me too. I don't think that's they're kind of lumped in like with that. Have you ever heard of like
A Fever You Can't Sweat Out.
there's
That came out before this song or before this album.
Oh,
That was
5, right?
2005.
Yeah. And
God
now everybody's
damn.
gone except for Brennan Urie. He's the only one left. The singer.
Is the lead singer?
Yeah.
Wow.
There's the Trinity though of emo pop punk bands, which is I don't know if you know the Trinity.
No.
We've said 2 just now.
My Chem, Panic, Fall Out Boy.
Yep, that's the Trinity.
Fall Out Boy for pop punk, just there's something about it just doesn't fit. It's not dark enough. I don't know
Well,
why.
they're pop punk. I don't think they're emo. I don't even think Panic is really that much. My Chem 100% is.
My Chem 100%. I don't think Fall Out Boy or Panic fits.
No. My real question has always been, is emo even really a genre? Because you don't have enough bands for me to say that they're really like emo.
No. Yeah, there's not enough.
There's like bands that have like Brand New had an album that's very emo, or like Jimmy Eat World had
Hawthorne
Clarity.
Heights.
Hawthorne Heights, but they're also pretty screamy. Like Story of the Year, are they emo? Like, and then what's post-hardcore? What's all that shit? Like, who cares? Also,
Post-hardcore.
that's a really popular like genre title
Is
for
it?
a lot
Like,
of
what
those
are
bands.
Senses
Senses Fail, Story of the Year, From Autumn to
I almost said
Ashes.
Smashing Pumpkins, but no.
No.
3 Days Grace.
3 Days, no, they're alternative.
3 days?
They're pretty solidly alternative,
You
I would
think?
say. Yeah, a lot of people would probably put them in alternative because you're maybe Trapped could be closer, but even they're probably
Red
alternative.
Jumpsuit Apparatus?
Red Jumpsuit Apparatus. But then, like, where does that line become like screamo? Like, and then
Exactly.
what do you call a day to remember?
It's all the same thing.
Because they're pop punk and like strictly pop punk, and then in other parts they're strictly screamo, like death metal almost. Not death metal, but like hardcore. Anyways,
How about we just don't put everything into categories, man?
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think My Chem's just a really good rock band.
That's just such a fun era of music. Like 2000 to like 2008.
Well, it's funny because like
Maybe not even that long either.
I think I would maybe just
even
take
longer.
that length and scoot it. Yeah, I would say maybe like
2002 to like 2009.
You probably have to start in like 98 with Dookie, Green Day.
Fuck that, no.
Old Green Day?
I know, but you don't throw like an outlier. You don't throw like a one song.
But
that
they
like,
kind of kick it off is what I mean.
I know, but you don't throw like that one
Yeah.
kickoff song.
You're right.
You do it when the genre is like in.
That's when I saw.
When there is like a ton of bands.
That's when I saw My Chem. That's when I first like really. I'd already kind of my sister
the
gave me
90s?
No. When they opened for Green Day on the American Idiot tour, like 04, 05.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good album too.
Yeah. It was huge.
Yeah.
Those Green Day, you probably would also. They're not like pop punk. They're kind of their own thing, but like they're like big.
That's like a.
I wouldn't
That's
put
like
them
pop
in that
rock.
trinity. Yeah, like punky rock, like rock with like hints of punk.
Punk pop rock.
Yeah,
Pump pop rocks.
yeah. Because then you get a little bit less rocky, or a little less rocky and more punky, and you get like Blink, and you get Sum 41 and Simple Plan and all that shit. Good Charlotte.
Blink and suck my.
I know. Yeah, I know.
Suck my
but the rest of those you like.
I do.
Sum 41, Good Charlotte, Simple Plan, Bowling for Soup,
Yeah.
Love, Newfound Glory.
Yeah.
Paramore
That was
is
my
a
first
thing.
concert. Newfound Glory.
Yeah, I know it. Lost your fucking shoe, you dope. How far in are we?
For 2 hours.
Holy shit.
I know it went so fast.
All right, well,
Yeah.
let's talk about our next homework. Do you know what yours is?
Give me mine, and I'll think of one for you while we're doing it. I know mine,
Okay.
and it's a very random one, but I just thought of this because I thought of what's coming to St. Louis coming up. You do mine first.
I want you to listen to 3 Cheers, My Chem. I feel like I'm going to make this a theme.
3 Cheers.
Yeah, their album before Black Parade. I think it's cool to go like theme wise.
Shit, you just want me to give you stand-up albums then?
No. I was going to say like I'm going to do those 3 My Chem albums.
Okay.
And I'm not going to do music again.
Is 3
I'm
Cheers
saying
the first one?
their first big one.
Okay.
I brought you my bullets, but it's pretty raw. I'm going to say start with 3 Cheers, and then so I'm going to do those like those 3 big albums, but then I'll probably do like movies or something after that, but like or comics. But
Okay. I was almost going to give you something that I don't know anything about, and I realized that's probably not going to work.
it could work.
I wanted you to like teach me about it.
Oh, okay. What is it?
I want to know about the history of the XFL.
Oh my god!
I just thought about it.
I mean, I can tell you now. I watched it back in the day for a year when it was out.
I have an XFL football.
Yeah, do you?
Yeah.
St. Louis is getting a team. We don't have a name yet.
No. All right. Here, let me think of another one.
Okay,
You tell me more about My Chem while we're doing this.
My Chem.
Well, you do it. It'll jog something in the old noggin.
Well, here's what I'm going to ask you. I'll let you actually make the choice of which one you do first. So 3 Cheers has songs that you know, like Helena, Ghost of You, and
Okay.
it's more pop punky, and I'm Not Okay are on there, and it's before Black Parade. Or do you want to do Danger Days with stuff you don't know, and it's much heavier concept? Like they literally talk about like it takes place in 2019, but it's from 2010, and it's like the world is post-apocalyptic. They're in this place called like Battery City, and it's like it's very weird but like different. It's like very like Ziggy Stardust, Bowie meets like Black Parade, My Chem.
Oh, weird.
Yeah. So which one do you do first?
So it's like heady electronic
yes, meets My Chem.
meets like punk rock.
Yeah, meets like
I'll do that one.
you want to do Danger Days first?
Danger Days.
Danger
Okay.
Days. Yeah.
That's the last
Killjoys.
album, I think.
Yeah, it's the last one they made. Yeah, actually, you know what's funny? Between Black Parade and Danger Days, they made an entire album called Conventional Weapons, which they scrapped. and then made Danger Days. That's why it's 06 to 2010. They went 4 years without an album because they scrapped one, and then they released it after, and it's really, really good. Conventional Weapon says.
I want you to tell me why. You're gonna have to do a little bit of research.
Okay.
I want you to tell me why Opie and Anthony broke up.
Oh, fuck.
Because I know that you don't want to listen to it.
Why are you making me do something you don't want to do? That's not what this segment's for. No, I'm vetoing
You're
it.
not going to do that? Okay.
No, I'm saying it. That's not what this is. It's for stuff that you we want to know more about for the other person.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. I just want to say, folks, just love that peek behind the curtain. You just got to see production happen on air.
Oh, since we already talked about it, can you teach me about James Wan?
James Wan?
Yeah.
Okay. James Wan. I like you. You want me to teach you?
Well, because I've seen a couple of his movies, but I don't know a lot about him.
Yeah, me neither. Really, I know some, a little bit.
Okay.
I know he did a Fast and the Furious movie.
Oh yeah, I guess if I do that, you're gonna have to watch fucking multiple movies.
I don't mind that.
I could do a week. I don't think you can do it.
Oh, I could do
a couple movies.
Yeah, I could do
who's the guy who did The Cabin in the Woods?
Drew Goddard.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about Drew Goddard films?
Oh, there's not very many, are there?
I know, but that's why it'd be relatively easy.
And I could talk about Daredevil and stuff other stuff.
Yeah,
to work on.
he's done 3 things.
But
and
is this
also
stuff I thought this is stuff that you like.
I do like it.
You like Drew Goddard? Okay.
Yeah. I love all of the shit that he's done.
So you want me to watch his? What does he got? Look up his oeuvre.
So he did Cabin in the Woods.
Okay.
He's the show creator of what's his dick? Daredevil. He's producer of The Martian. Producer of Lost.
Okay. He's only directed Cabin in the Woods?
Oh yeah. He wrote Bad Times at the El Royale.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Bad Times.
The Martian, World War Z, Cabin in the Woods, Cloverfield.
He directed those?
Wrote.
Oh yeah. Okay. The first
directed El Royale, Cabin in the Woods. Cabin in the Woods is the first fucking movie he did.
He's only done 2 movies?
Yeah.
Directed? Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So it's not that difficult.
No.
And I already know a little bit about him, and I've seen all the movies.
Yeah.
But I want you to, because I don't know, you probably haven't seen Bad Times, right?
Yeah, I've seen Bad Times.
You have?
Yeah. I guess I've seen all of his stuff, but I never really.
But you can just do research and then talk about him.
Yeah, yeah.
And talk about him as a person, because I don't know much about him.
Yeah, is there a lot out there? I bet there is.
I like all of his work.
Yeah, me too.
Because he's also did a lot of. He was like Joss Whedon's little guy.
Yeah, they were because he was his protege. Yeah,
because he did a couple Buffy, a couple Angel.
Yeah, and then he did Cabin in the Woods, which is Josh's pet project for a while.
Yeah, I think he just produced it.
Well, I meant but it was because Cabin in the Woods was filmed 2 years before it came out.
Oh, was it?
Because Chris Hemsworth was huge, and that was supposed to be his breakout role. He was already huge from Thor, and then it came out. Yeah,
Cabin in the Woods is such a good movie.
Right. It's funny because nobody knew what it was.
Let's wrap this bitch up.
Yeah.
It's 2 hours.
Fuck. Okay. So homework-wise, Drew Goddard, and then Danger Days for Alex.
Drew Goddard, Danger Days.
Yeah. So if you want to hop on and check out that stuff with us, you can do that.
Yeah. Should be a good time.
It should be a good time. And then if you want to find us on Instagram, you could do that. But is it worth your time? Not right now.
No.
Well, who knows when this comes out? Maybe it will be.
Maybe.
But then if not, and then also next week I want to talk about moving to California because that's going to be there's a lot that's come out for that.
And then I'll talk about possibly trying to buy a house. If I don't have a job.
Pretty much.
No, we didn't buy the house yesterday.
No, I know, but I mean, you're putting out offers and stuff. Yeah. So.
But yeah, so we'll see you guys next week.
Goodbye.
Bye.